I'm running a little behind. Oops, sorry about that. Oh my goodness. What the? Boy, it's so much you got to do in production, man. It's so much you have to do in productions, or pre-productions. Oh man. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, welcome to Some Random Guys Speaks. All right, I gotta adjust this thing here. All right, there we go. I think we got it now. Get on down there. All right, there we go. All right. If it would stay down. Yeah. This is one of those boom arms by Blue. And it hasn't been working out for me very well. For the most part. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. See how it keep popping up? Huh. All right, let's try this again. Yeah, it keeps popping up there. Can't do a podcast like this. All right, let's see here. Let's do this one, ladies and gentlemen. I think I know what's going on with it. All right. I think that's better. I think. All right. Trying to adjust this thing here. But it seems to have a mind of its own because it doesn't want to stay in its proper alignment. Give me one moment here. Got some technical difficulties. Let me see here. All right, let's take a look at it here. All right, let's do this. All right, I think that's better. I think. Yeah, it doesn't want to stay down. All right, I'm going to really have to do something about this, ladies and gentlemen. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Some Random Guy Speaks. I am your host, Tony G, and we are about to get started today. At least I think I am. Thank you for the like. Yeah, just having a little trouble with this boom arm, man. Yeah, never really had a problem with this boom arm before. I think, okay, we'll do it like that. Okay, that's cool. All right, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Some Random Guy Speaks. I am your host, Tony G, and we are about to get started here today. And things, Trump shocks everyone with urgent 24-hour announcement. So I watched it earlier. I said, you know what? I'm going to share it for some of you that haven't seen it. Some of you probably have or whatever. So we're going to have fun doing that, just to watch it and stuff. I welcome you guys into the chat and things, though. It was nice seeing Omega in the house, and things. Hopefully Joe Mama will show up. Not Joe Mama, but Joe Mama, Yep, so there we go. I missed Joe Mama, too. I missed Omega, but it's cool that he showed up yesterday. And for those that are coming in or new to the channel, this is where MAGA speaks, This is a channel here that is MAGA or other, you know what I'm saying? It ain't just MAGA only, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, so other than that, yeah, we're going to go ahead and get into this very, very soon here, Let me see here. Harvey Burgess says, Trump is the main event. Yes, he is. Trump, man, he's been making headlines, Harvey, man. I think you guys were coming in, but the controversy, you either got to like him or hate him. It's not like in between with Trump. You either love him or hate him. That's just how it is, But I'm loving on his policies, and I'm loving the man, you know what I'm saying? Because this guy here is pushing back against the deep state and the globalists and things like that. And yeah, so he's going to talk about it in this video, though. I'm just waiting on some other people to show up and stuff like that. Like people are coming into the chat and stuff. So, this is Sunday and things, February the 22nd. Boy, this month is almost out of here, man. It's almost out of here, Boy. Let me see. It looks like we have code. 3398 says Trump sold his soul to, it's supposed to be the Antichrist Jews in Israel, you know. Antichrist, that's an interesting thing, though. You say that Trump sold his soul? What, by fighting against the globalists and the deep state? That's how he sold his soul? Millions of people all around the world respect this man and love this man. Everybody know what he's doing. He's actually fighting against the deep state. He's fighting and pushing back against the globalists. Remember, this is the guy they tried to lock up. Remember, you know, for the other presidents and other people, they were working along with the globalists. You know, they didn't go under any scrutiny. You think Biden went under scrutiny? No. Obama, did he go under scrutiny? Bush's? No, neither of them. Trump is the only president that cannot be bought, right? And this is going back to your logic there, Cold. You know what I'm saying? Trump cannot be bought. He's already been a billionaire. You got to admit that, though, you know. Your other presidents that were in there, they weren't millionaires and billionaires. They were already. They've been bought by the system a long time ago. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So you can't deny that. Not at all. Let me see here. I mean, you know, we can have this thing, only dumb people. How can there 77 million people be dumb that voted for Trump? Now, come on, Cole, man. Your logic is flawed, man. Come on now. You know that don't make any sense. You know, the libtards and things like that, man, they are the ones. I'm talking about progressive liberals, right? Those are the ones, ladies and gentlemen. These are the ones that Trump is fighting against. The ones that hate America, the ones that hate the Constitution, right? These are the same. I'm talking about progressive, the progressive elites. Not you at your level, you know what I'm saying? You know, as far as I'm concerned, you know, you guys that rah-rah for the left, you just are ill-informed, brainwashed, and you don't have access to real information. This is why when you make these statements, I can defeat them quite easily. Because you have people in the popular vote, right? Thank you for the like. I appreciate it. It just doesn't hold water what you're talking about, right? Let me see here. Who would we ask here? Ron says, hell yeah, go Trump. I know that's right, though. Shout out to President Donald J. Trump, greatest president that we ever had in our lifetime. You know what I'm saying? Sure is. Absolutely. Thank you for the likes, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? Everybody in this room and stuff like that. Most people that rock with me, too, they understand what this man, Donald J. Trump, is doing. He ain't trying to do. He is doing it. We never had anybody pushing back against the globalists. You guys did not have that fight on the left. You didn't have that smoke for the globalists. You just bought into the conspiracy, business as usual. This is a man that challenged the globalists. I did a whole live stream and clips on this for those that probably saw my shorts and things like that. So, yeah, he's been doing great pushback. You know, so therefore, I'm kind of questioning some of you that's still rocking on the left. Are you a bot? Are you paid, paid for, you know, because it's kind of sounding suspicious, quite sounding kind of suspect to me, you know. Are you paid or controlled opposition? You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing about it. How is Trump fighting against the deep state when evidence point to him? Okay, here it is, though, you know. So here's the thing about it. You always bring up Israel, right? You bring up Israel all the time like that's the knockout punch, you know. We're not saying that Israel is perfect, but I noticed that you didn't have this smoke when Biden was in the office. You know Biden is controlled, and you didn't have the smoke at all. So right now, you're going to have to define what you just said. I'm going to post it up. Because you're gonna have to stand on that. Give me more information. Just don't throw out blanket statements and can't back it up. Now I'm putting you in the hot seat now. Here, what's it? Whatever your name is, you know. I'm just gonna call you Seeing, because right now you feel like you sound like you're full of seeing right now. So stand on what you just said, sir. You know, I got time today. I want you to stand on what you just said about this. You know, and we have given every evidence that Trump has been fighting against the deep state. Israel doesn't control him, nor do the globalists around the world does not control him, sir. You know, so you stand on what you just said, because you gotta prove it. Nope, ain't no delusional channel. I'm gonna make him stand on it. Anybody that make that statement, you better be prepared to back it up. I'm going to make you stand on it, right? You ain't going to wash away, deflect, or anything like that. I want you to stand on it. Yes, sir. Delusional channel. Well, you in the delusional channel? What brings you over here? If my channel is so delusional, Sam, why do you waste your time coming into a delusional channel? You know, the numbers are against you, Sam. Don't you understand that you're a minority group? You don't have a win in this nowhere. Trump still been kicking your behind. All of the people are the progressives. And anybody that rock with him, you don't have nothing. You got another nothing burger and a loser. Thank you for the like. I appreciate it, I do like getting, I said, I'm going to do the thing here a little differently. I'm going to start early with some of these trolls, some of these comments, because they just make statements and they just don't have no information to back it up. But here on this channel, I'm going to make you stand on it, right? Trump took $2 million from the Jewish donors. He did not. I'm going to make you stand on this stuff, Cole. You back it up. Show me the evidence, right? Thank you for the likes. See this nonsense, ladies and gentlemen? I knew where he was going from with this. Israel has been buying our, with the emergency funds and all that other stuff. They have been buying our weapons, sir. Saying nice try, though. Nice try, See, that's the thing about it, though. You can't just throw up this stuff and just expect, like you got an aha moment. Y'all been losing from day one, man. You no match for MAGA. Let's just go on and put it out like that. You have nothing. You're just running your mouth. You know what I'm saying? Oh my gosh. Let me see here. Java says, on point, sir. Yeah, right. Java also says, I'm subbing this guy. I appreciate you though, Java. I appreciate you, though, I appreciate you all. And for those, I wish I was a way I could see the subs because I would love to give shouts out and things like that, we all in the winning circle. You guys realize that. The country, America is getting back on track. The borders are shut down. And what else, though, too? Besides the borders being shut down, oh, man, where do I go? Businesses are coming back over here by the droves and things like that, making America great again. Who could be against that, man? Only a fool could be against America. It's like the greatest country on earth. And I'm very patriotic, you know what I'm saying? That's the thing about it. There is no country on earth greater than the United States of America, right? So that's the thing about it. Many of us say so. We all had our blessings here. I've been blessed personally, right? Since this man been in office, I've watched my investments and everything going up. So we're talking about from a personal standpoint as well as for the whole country, Look at the cities now are becoming more safer now. Crime had dropped down, was it between 20 and 30%? Crime drop. Look at the Democrats. They never had that record. The crime is steady going down, ladies and gentlemen. So here to their point where they try to thread this needle, try to make it sound like Trump ain't doing nothing in the races, it falls on deaf ears because it makes themselves look foolish. They have no concrete evidence other than to come in here and just say whatever they want to say without think they won't be challenged. You are the ones that are delusional, the ones that are against Trump. How you gonna be against a man that's saving the country? Make no sense, Yeah, you can say F Trump all you want, but like it is, Trump is still he is the commander-in-chief. He's been doing as a president. This is the first president, ladies and gentlemen, that we have elected since 1913. Not selected, elected. Thank you for the likes. I appreciate it. This is the first president ever, We are in the winning seat. They are on the losing seat. They're on the way out. We already know that. Look at AOC. Oh, my goodness. AOC. Oh, my. Can we go there on AOC today? Can we talk about her? Oh, man. That big blunder. Oh, man. Oh, my goodness. AOC. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my gosh, man. AOC, man. Woo. In Munich, you see how she made a bumbling idiot fool of herself when that woman asked her that question? Oh, my God. What an idiot. We always known she was a low value, low quality, a low IQ ass idiot, right? They don't have nobody. Gavin Newsom, he is trash, too. They took their behind over there in Munich. That's what I'm saying, though, ladies and gentlemen. These are the idiots that they try to pop up in front of us. Are you kidding me? What, Adam Schiff, Shifty Schiff, Maxine Wicked West Waters? I mean, who do you have? You don't have anybody. Just sit down, you know what I'm saying? This is funny, though, too. It's humorous, though, ladies and gentlemen, because Trump and America have been winning so much, and I just love it, though. This is a winning country, man. Ain't that something? We're about to go into our 250-year anniversary, right? July the 4th, right? Boy, will we celebrate our independence from those red coats. Boy, I tell you. Those red coats, boy, you know what I'm saying? So Trump and America, right? Not America, but America, right? We are in the winning seat, no matter what they say, my detractors and all that stuff, because like it is, though, I feel very, very good about being an American and being on the winning side. You, on the other hand, my friends, like Sin and Sam and the man and whoever else, you know what I'm saying? You guys, Miss Margot, yeah, Miss Margot is on the losing side of history while we progress, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, on the winning side, you know? So I thank you for the likes as well, too, right? Just looking at a few of these things before we got to get started. It said, Brooke says facts. Yeah, it's exactly, though. But they don't have anything, though. These are child molesters. Just talk about it. I talked about it yesterday, too, with Epstein, right? Here it is. Trump has been acquitted. And not only that, he was an informant, working for the FBI, and he was the one that brought Epstein down. Thank you for the likes, you know. So there it is. Epstein couldn't stand Trump. When Epstein found out that Trump set him up, man, it was a wrap, man. You know what I'm saying? And all of the people, mainly the DMs, the progressive DMs that been on that island and been in contact with him, talking about Epstein, getting funding from Epstein. Most of the whole DNC was funded by Epstein. Ain't that something? Boy, look at the emails. No matter how they try to whitewash it, but the truth is the truth. Ain't that something, boy? You know, because when you bet on Trump, you always win. You bet against Trump, you always lose. Ain't that what the progressive liberals are doing? They big mad in this room. They are upset because they know it's true. They can't stop this man. And we're going to talk about that Mar-a-Lago incident, man. In fact, we can go ahead and talk about it right now and things. So y'all already heard about that, you know. Some gunman that made his way into Mar-a-Lago, you know, and they took his ass out. They sure did. He effed around and found out about it, you know what I'm saying? Because they're not going to go at any length to take down our favorite president that we love and know. That's why I say Godspeed to President Trump and his family and things like that. The country is on high alert. We have to be vigilant because these people, we already know that these people, the enemies of America, right? That and the enemies within America. So we got the enemies of America and the enemies outside of America that's working with the enemies of America, if that makes sense. And this is why we got this pushback, you know. The seditious six, I can't wait for them to be at a military trial. Hopefully one or the other, you know, one or the other, along with these other criminals and these other treasonous bastards, right? In my opinion, they deserve the firing squad, to be honest with you, you know. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get into the video here. And I appreciate you guys for showing up and things like that. Showing up and showing out. Ain't that something? Hold on for a minute. Let's go ahead on and get this video queued up here. All right, let's take a look at it. There we go. All right. Oops.
Against a person that just got out of office. And then you look at these corrupt people. You look at Hunter Biden. You look at the signature as an example, the Europen. I just signed so many different things. An admiral, a four-star general. I'm signing them left and right, the commissions. And by the way, I want to compliment John Thune and also Mike, our great speaker. But John Thune, all of a sudden, I'm getting these things by the hundreds. I was getting one every 2 weeks. It would have been 4 years before you got them in more. You would have had some that didn't even get in, all because of Democrat obstruction. So John Thune did a great job. I must have signed 200 into the administration. We're just about caught up. It's amazing. And so compliments to John. He had to do some things that were very tough to do that he didn't want to do, but he was forced to do it by the Democrats. And as far as the shutdown's concerned, this is a Democrat Schumer shutdown. And he's trying to do it to get relevance back into the party because he's a loser. I've known him all his life. He's always been sort of a loser, but an intelligent one. But I think he's losing IQ points with time. I think that happens. I hope it hasn't happened with me. I know if it did, you guys will let me know about it very quickly.
Question on violent crime, sir. Here in D.C., a judge has given the 2 teenagers that beat up ex-DOJ staffer Big Balls probation.
It's incredible.
And no jail time. Is this justice?
Jeanine Pirro is doing a fantastic job, and she is beside herself because you have these radical left judges that they beat the hell out of this guy. And there was many people against this one guy who was really trying to protect his girlfriend. He didn't want his hooded over the door but they really beat him up badly. That just happened, right? Yes. Wow, that's terrible. I think the judge should be ashamed of himself. That's a big problem. You know, they can do their job, and then they go into a court, and the people are protected by these, I don't know where they come from. Where do these people come from? Where do the judges come from? I want to compliment on behalf of Pam and Todd and all of us because, Cash, I think that Jeanine has done a fantastic job. And the case I heard was like flawless. It's a flawless case. They have them on tape. They have everything. And then a judge gives them a little probation. These are rough guys. And they're young. And if that happens, they're going to grow up. They're going to be real bad. They're going to cause a lot of problems. Yeah, please. Go ahead.
So, Sergey Bohr has just gotten back from India.
Right.
What were the conversations like with Prime Minister Modi and the other?
I think they were great. He reported to me that he's a great man, you know. Modi is a great man. That he loves Trump. Now, I don't know if the word love, I don't want you to take that any different. I don't want to destroy his political career, okay? But you have to understand, I've watched India for years. It's an incredible country. And every single year you'd have a new leader. I mean, some would be in there for a few months. And this was year after year after year. And my friend has been there now for a long time. And he's assured me there will be no oil purchased from Russia. I don't know, maybe that's a breaking story. Can I say that? Would you say? There will be no oil. He's not buying his oil from Russia. It started. You know, you can't do it immediately. It's a little bit of a process. But the process is going to be over with soon. And all we want from President Putin is stop this. Stop killing Ukrainians and stop killing Russians, because he's killing a lot of Russians. Again, it doesn't make him look good. It's a war that he should have won in 1 week, and he's now going into his 4th year. That does not make this big so-called war machine look good. But he could make a settlement. We're willing to settle. I thought we had a deal. The hatred of the two leaders is very, you know, it's an obstacle. It's an obstacle. There's no question about it. But I thought we had a deal 2 months ago. Who would think I created peace in the Middle East and can't get the two guys to settle? But I think we'll get them. But if India doesn't buy oil, it makes it much easier. And they're not going to buy. They assured me they will, within a short period of time, they will not be buying oil from Russia. And they'll go back to Russia after the war's over. Jennifer?
On the shutdown, sir, are FBI officials being paid right now? Are all the FBI employees being paid? And are all the
Well, that's what I understand. I hope so.
Thanks to your great work, Mr. President. The 1811 special agents at the FBI are going to receive their paychecks.
Got a lot of people paid, actually.
in the whole intelligence
We got the
community?
people that we want paid, okay? And we want the FBI paid, we want the military paid. We got the people that we want paid. And I'll tell you, the Democrats, they don't talk about this. You know, we're getting rid of programs that we didn't like, but that were negotiated in, but we didn't like. We're terminating those programs, and they're going to be terminated on a permanent basis. And it's thousands of people, and it's you know, billions of dollars. We're getting rid of a lot of things that we never wanted because of the fact that they made this stupid move. And they don't want to talk about it. You know, they have their day coming up. I hear very few people are going to be there, by the way. But they have their day coming up, and they want to have their day in the sun. But they should really make a deal. So what we're doing, I mean, they call him Darth Vader, but he's actually a very nice person, Russell Vogt. But Russell Vogt is really terminating tremendous numbers of Democrat projects. There's not only jobs, I mean, the project in Manhattan, the project in New York, it's billions and billions of dollars that Schumer has worked 20 years to get. It's terminated. Tell him it's terminated, Jennifer. All right.
On Hamas, sir, what is your understanding of the pace of returning the deceased hostages? Are you pleased?
Well,
with
they're
that
looking
pace?
for them. Absolutely. They're looking. So we have the living hostages all back. They returned some more today. It's a gruesome process. I almost hate to talk about it. But they're digging. They're actually digging. There are areas where they're digging and they're finding a lot of bodies. Then they have to separate the bodies. You wouldn't believe this. And some of those bodies have been in there a long time. And some of them are under rubble. They have to remove rubble. But there are graves, and some are in tunnels that died in tunnels that are way down under the earth. And the tunnels are like 3 feet. Can you believe it? 3 feet high. They lived like this for a long period of time. It's a horrible atrocity. At the same time, we, meaning Israel, but I knew everything they were doing pretty much. I knew most of the things they were doing, but they've killed probably 70,000 of these people, Hamas. And I said, it's time now. So we'll see what happens. We'll also see what happens. Your next question is going to be the weapons. We want the weapons to be given up, sacrificed, and they've agreed to do it. Now they have to do it, and if they don't do it, we'll do it.
We had the head of CENTCOM today suggest that Hamas needs to hurry up and disarm and follow your comprehensive plan.
Yeah.
That it was the head of CENTCOM saying that. Is that not a signal to Hamas, to the rest of the world, that at some point the U.S. military may more directly engage?
We won't need the U.S. military. We won't need it.
Why not just yield?
Because we're very much involved in it. If we weren't involved, there wouldn't be peace. If we didn't destroy the nuclear capability of Iran, that deal would have never happened for two reasons. The Arab nations would not have felt bold enough to do it because you have a very powerful, at that time, Iran. It's not powerful anymore between what Israel and us did, because, the attack was, if you look at it, we helped them very much. They will be the first to tell you, including shooting down thousands of drones that were coming into Israel. We shot them down. We were shooting them down like it was target practice, but we shot down thousands of drones and missiles also going into Israel. But between what we did to Iran that way with the, conventional, we will call it, and what see that beautiful plane, that B-2, I noticed it on the desk. I always thought it was beautiful, but I never understood it. Now I understand it. It took in hundreds of thousands of bombs in the form of two, but hundreds of thousands of pounds of bombs. And every single bomb hit perfectly. Then they sent Tomahawks in. They sent 30 Tomahawks on top of it. And that was totally, CNN said, well, maybe it wasn't as bad as Trump said, because I said obliterated. Obliterated is not a strong enough word, actually. And you saw the Atomic Energy Commission came out and said the word obliteration is very, very... Think of it. They came in under potential fire. They entered Iran airspace late at night, in the dark, no moon. The moon was low for a reason. What time we picked it. Couldn't see anything. And they hit every target, and they weren't hit. Nobody saw that plane. That plane is stealth. Nobody saw it. The problem with that is it may be stealth today, but tomorrow it won't be. And we just ordered about 20 brand new B-2 bombers. It's unbelievable as a weapon. I know Putin, when I was riding with him in Alaska, we passed a lot of them. And he said, that really did the trick. I said, yeah, it did. It's amazing. The flying wing.
But you still foresee no reason for the U.S. military to get involved in Gaza?
No, I don't see that. No, I think we're going to handle it very well. We'll be helping Israel. But we have other countries that are now. We signed, many countries signed. And many of those countries relatively are very strong military powers. And Hamas has no support. See, Hamas had the support of Iran. And now
welcome
Iran
to the
says,
channel, Angelica.
Don't get us involved.
Yeah, I see you. A long time no see. Hold on for a minute. Let me put this on
so they used to have
pause
the
for
support
one moment,
of Iran
and then
today.
we'll pick it back up. Good to see you and things, though. Yep. So if they get a little too unruly, you know what to do, Just start taking them out. I appreciate you for showing up. Long time no see. Yep. Let me give a shout-out to Angelica. Oh, yeah. Angelica is in the house. You make a great point, Angelica, and a lot of you other guys, too. That's why I've been posting it up. Let me go back and play Trump again, and I appreciate the likes. There it is. All right.
In for a sustained trade war with China?
Well, you're in one now. Look, we have 100% tariff. If we didn't have tariffs, we would be exposed as being a nothing. We would have no defense. They've used tariffs on us, but we've never had anybody sitting in that chair that felt the need to do it. And they've allowed us to be $37 trillion in debt, et cetera, et cetera. Tariffs are a very important tool for our defense, for our national security. If we don't have tariffs, we're not going to have national security. As an example, if you look at Pakistan and Iran, I told them I was in the midst of negotiating a trade deal with Iran, and Pakistan was going to be in line. And because of tariffs, they all want to negotiate much differently. We were making a good deal. And then I heard that they're shooting at each other. And I said during one of my conversations, are you guys going to go to war? Two nuclear powers. We are thinking about, I said, here's the deal. You go to war, I'm going to put a 200% tariff. I'm going to stop you from doing any business in the United States. I said it to both of them. Within 24 hours, the war ended. That would have been a nuclear war. And again, the Prime Minister of Pakistan, who was here 2 weeks ago, said that man saved many millions of lives in front of a whole group of people because he thought it was going to be war. But when it came to war or having to pay massive tariffs, the tariffs overrode. That's why it's so important. Not only the money, we're taking in trillions of dollars, not only the money, the power to keep peace, the power to be used for good is enormous. But a lot of people didn't understand tariffs. It's also made us very rich. We have a big case coming up in the Supreme Court, and I will tell you, that's one of the most important cases in the history of our country, because if we don't win that case, we will be a weakened, troubled, financial mess for many, many years to come. I don't even know if survivable is a good term. And if we do, we're going to be the most powerful economic country in the world. And all we're doing is using them as a defense against what took place for many years. China would charge us tariffs. It was incredible, but we weren't allowed to charge. And we're allowed to do whatever we want. We just had presidents that didn't want to do it for whatever reason. And it was nothing. But of the 8 wars, I was saying 7, of the 8 wars, I would say tariffs are directly responsible for me ending 6 of them, 5 or 6. Without the tariffs, you have wars.
Keeping it right with Brother Dwight. Boy, I got Brother Dwight in the house, ladies and gentlemen. Dwight, sir, how are you doing today, man? You know, I made you a mod a while back and stuff. I've been meaning to catch up with you and things, man. Yeah, everything is going good, man. Welcome to the chat. It's a personal friend of mine here, over here in the D. It's so cold in the D. But that's all right, though, because Trump is going to warm it up for America. Thank you for the likes, too. I appreciate it, though, you know. See how mad they are in this room? And see the comments of the people that have been praising Trump, that's been saying on all a lot of the positive stuff, and they can't stand it. You even have a white liberal female woman in here, man. You know, like I said before on my other live, the days that the black community that are not, we're leaving, the blacks have been leaving the Democratic slave plantation for years, right? With no exception, you know? So they know they're losing the black base. That's why, like I always told y'all, remember, one thing that white liberals hate is a black conservative. Facts, right? They cannot stand a black conservative. Truth to that, right? It is so true, man, right? So if they think they can get up here and tell us what to do, they've been leading us up the stray for a long time. While they live comfortably in the suburbs, we live in the city around crime, violence, and drugs. That's why they don't have no answer to it. They don't want that smoke for real, for real. Even if I drop the mic down, she don't want that smoke. He don't want that smoke. You know what I'm saying? They ain't about that life for real, for real. Yeah. What's going on with you, Brother Dwight? I see your photo too, sir. You know, hold on for a minute. Go ahead, get Dwight up in here, boy. That's the thing about it, boy. Look at Brother Dwight, boy. That's what's up. Hold on. Shout out once again, Angelica, Brother Dwight. Yeah, man, I've been doing pretty good, man. I've been doing pretty good. Yeah, man. They are big mad in this room, Brother Dwight. But just like Nelly says, should we apologize? Just leave them pissed. Anyale, mommy, you know, just go ahead on and keep them pissed, though, you know. That's just how it is. Uh-oh, what's popping tonight? Trump. That's what's popping tonight, you know. Trump. Who is the man that risks his neck out for a brother man? Trump, you damn right. Oh, man, ain't that right? Boy, I tell you, Trump do, you know? Yep. Yeah, man. Let me go ahead and play this, though. Double tap the screen. Yeah, do what Dwight says. Double tap that screen. And y'all been doing a great job with liking it for the most part of it. That's cool.
Open borders. I mean, his whole philosophy is a disaster.
I appreciate
That's
you.
not representative
Post
of the
that
people
up there
of Georgia.
too.
I know the people of Georgia. I won Georgia 3 times, but they say twice. Okay, I won it very big the last time, and I won it big the first time, and I won it big the second time. But we had criminals that didn't allow. I mean, I hope they're going to go into that. I hope they go into the votes which are being stored in Fulton County and take a real look at those votes, okay? Because I won it the second time, too.
Hold on, I'm going to read this real quick because this is important, too. What was bugging out said, he said that Dems are mostly low-information voters, which they are. They vote with their feelings. I'm going to add that in what you said. And they get easily manipulated a lot. It's so true. This is the reason, though, too. That's why they come in here with insults. F Trump, I hate you, this and that, Uncle Ruckus, all this other stuff, right? Pedo thing, pedo protector, all the stuff that we done heard many of times, right? Which is not true. They just make up stuff to try to push buttons. That's all they have. And their party is pretty much trash. They always have been. They always thought they were the majority group. And in fact, you are the minority group. Oh, yeah, I know it hurts. I know it hurts, but that's the truth, you know? That is the truth. Trump has been building a better economy, way better, and that big head galoot. You know I love talking about Obama. Hold on for a minute. Let me do this right, ladies and gentlemen. Then we'll play the video again. Yeah, Angelica, Dwight. I'm going to go ahead and let me go and put this up. Because they see the thing about it is that, let me put up the savior, the arch deceiver, and you know what I'm saying? Let me go ahead and put him up. Obama, the fallen messiah and the arch deceiver. Let me go ahead and put him up. I got to put him up proper. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm going to really get the troll. You know, I love trolling the trolls, right? They are big mad. I love it when they come in this room, and every time they be big mad, man. Just don't get too crazy because, you know, the mods in the room, though, that's a warning, you know, and they will strike you down, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So you got to contain yourself. I know you got a lot of soy in the men, a lot of estrogen going on and stuff like that. Boy, what the heck? Hold on for a minute. Let me pull up the fallen savior, you know. This is supposed to be the man right here, you know. Let's go ahead and keep that up. There we go. And all his greatness. Look at that, boy. Look at that. Obama. That's to come. That's your great savior. That's going to happen, though. You do realize that. That will come to fruition. Yo, I love it, boy. Let's go ahead and play Trump, boy. That's coming. That's coming. You know, boy, I tell you, look at them, man. They're gonna be losing they ish right now. Boy, go ahead.
What they did to him.
Trump.
Not once.
That's the real president here.
I'm still counting.
Not this fake figure galoot looking like a jackrabbit.
This man is not weaponizing the Department of Justice. We're not weaponizing the Department of Justice.
I love it.
But also, nobody questions what I'm saying because it's true. Because we all lived the past 4 years. So, listen.
They never want to bring up the details. But I watch the fake news, and, oh, he's weaponized. And he wants to send them to prison. He wants all this. They indicted me like 5 times. I took a mugshot.
Hold on, let me answer this
Who would
one
have thought
thing
it turned
here
out to...
real quick. Let me see who this guy is. So I'm going to answer your question. Your questions don't need to be deserved to answer 623. Who the hell you think you is? I don't answer no questions to you. Like I said, you deal with it, boy. You know, you deal with it. We don't have to answer ish. We are in the winning circle, not you. You are a little bitch. So you're going to take my slaps in the face like you and get knocked out like you used to, son. You get knocked out like you used to. Go ahead and play that. I just had to get the guy real quick. Hold on for a minute. You get knocked out like you used to.
The other
tell
Justice
your mama
Department with
that I'll
Rita
be over
or
tonight.
Lisa and all of that scum, real scum, what they did to the political opponent of a guy that has a seriously low IQ. Now, in his case, it was low based on his career, but it got real low. Okay, it was descending. rapidly. But what they did to go after his political opponent is legendary, worse than any third world country, banana republic. And what we're doing is nothing. Are you kidding? Nothing. They write stories. Why aren't they doing this? And we'll leave. I don't have to leave it up to them, but I choose to at this moment, at least. But
let me address Margaret as well, too. Margaret says you have caused all of the debt and the problems, and you are inciting was what, man, shut your mouth up, Margaret. This is what I'm talking about. American white liberal female, one of the worst trash in America that we had to face because of them, because of their failed education, failed economy, right? Failed society, protecting criminals and pedos and everything. Margaret, I'm surprised you even here to even open your mouth to talk about this great man, Donald J. Trump. But like I said, you see that photo up there? That's inevitability. That's what's going to happen in the future. So get used to it. Remember I said I'm going to put this photo as up. And I didn't create this. Trump created this because he knows what's coming, right? That Russiagate stuff was a lie. And your great Obama, your deceiver, right? Your fallen messiah is going to be in prison. Like I said, either it's going to be a military trial, whatever, and hopefully it be capital punishment. And that's what I'm wishing. I'm going to be having my popcorn. Hang 'em high. We're going to play Trump again, boy. Hey, I'm big mad about that. Big man. All right, go ahead and play this again. Come on now.
$18 trillion
how you like
is being
them
poured
apples?
into our country. It's because of the election and because of tariffs. Without the tariffs, you wouldn't have probably 18 cents. It's because of the tariffs, because there are no tariffs if they build in our
I appreciate the
our
likes,
country,
too. Thank y'all
country.
so much. I
And
got to have
they
fun with the
understand
trolls,
that. So we
though,
have medical companies coming
I
over.
don't
We
mean
have
it
the
personally.
AI. We're dominating China in AI. Everybody said that's impossible. We're dominating. I'm letting these massive plants build their own electric generating plants. They're becoming utilities in addition to everything. Maybe they'll make more money with that. Who knows? But they're building their own electric because we have an old grid. You wouldn't be able to do that. And we're dominating China. We're dominating with AI, which seems to be the new big thing. That's the new internet. That's the new whatever. So we're very happy with the job we're doing. I'm very happy with the job they're doing. But when you tell me about attacking a political
look
opponent,
at all these praises, though, ladies and gentlemen. All of these praises from people in this room that rock with Trump 100%. Boy, look at this, though, man. They are really, really, that's why I was like saying, see, the liberals are very, very delusional. Thank you for the likes again, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, they really think that they have something. A lot of them don't. That's why they like to go in these rooms with the MAGA rooms and they just go and hurling in insults because we ain't answering no questions no more, man. The thing we're going to do is we're going to take the midterms, right? They are the ones, right? They want to take these midterms, Yep, that's exactly what it's going to be. We're going to take the midterms. We're going to take the House. We're going to take the Senate. We're going to take the whole Supreme Court. We have to, ladies and gentlemen. We got to impeach these traitors that hate America out of our country. So therefore, America be nice and great again. The black community is steady improving, slowly but surely. It starts with the crime first, crime been down, by 30%, between 20 and 30%. So that's a big jump compared to what it was before. You couldn't even go into Memphis in the bad neighborhoods without something about somebody kind of carjack you, rob you, whatever stuff, grape and everything. Boy, I tell you. Let's go ahead and play that. But it's so true. All right, here we go.
They were after Don in particular. I'll never forget Adam Shifty Schiff, a total crooked guy, lying in Congress, making up a phone conversation that I have with you, totally made up. Then when he heard it was taped, he wanted to disappear. And Nancy Pelosi went crazy because they wanted to.
Man, can you believe this woman here? What's it? Is this a woman or a man? It might be a man. Let me see here. He said here, those black MAGA people don't know when they are voting against their interests. You hear this? Thank y'all for the likes. Did y'all hear what this? I'm going to post this up. I can believe that John Paddock's I can't believe he said this. I can believe it, but you know what I'm saying? He said that we are voting against our best interest. I'm going to challenge this one real quick, ladies and gentlemen. For over 60 some odd years that the blacks have been voting the Democrats, we have been failing in our educational system. We have been failing in the crime, violence, drugs, everything else. Our communities have been desecrated, just destroyed, right? Look what else that ended up happening, right? They separate the man and the woman with the crime, what they call, well, not the crime, but that happened later. But I'm talking about the actual, by Lyndon B. Johnson, the Great Society, right? 1965, right? When that was implemented, right? It separated the black unit, right? In order for black women to get welfare, the black man couldn't be in the home. So a lot of things that John Paddock is saying, I can tell that he doesn't know. Here I am, sir. I want to pretty much say that you're not even black. I came from the black community, right? So how can you fix it in your mind? And my mods are black. How in the heck have we been voting against our best interests with Trump when he's been saving our best interests? It was you old lying liberal. Ooh, I'm trying to hold back. Dwight said I'm not going to do a whole lot of cussing. I've been doing pretty good, keeping it at a minimum, you know what I'm saying? Think that Charles and White is something. If I was totally unleashed, man, you'll feel my full wrath. Boy, you'll get a tongue lashing like never before to say something stupid like that. We ain't never benefited as being a Democrat. What, more welfare? More Obama phones? Are you serious? Boy, I tell you, we're going to play this. This is the foolishness that we're talking about here. Boy, can you believe this? But
not under President Trump. Today we're announcing the results of a sweeping law enforcement effort known as Operation Summer Heat. We were in many cities that people didn't know about. We kept it a little quiet.
Hold on for a minute. I'm gonna defeat Margaret as well. Margaret, use another uneducated liberal idiot. You know why? You can't even name any of the tariff presidents. Our country was built off of tariffs in the Constitution. You idiot, right? That's what I'm saying, though. Use a white liberal, one of these ones. I have already did a thing. I know who you are. The closest to Satan, I tell you, boy. They got that Jezebel spirit, the daughter of Eve, boy. That's why I said, y'all do realize that Eve was the one that was deceived by Satan, right? Adam's only thought, what was Adam's fault? Listening to who? A woman, right? And then you've been rebellious ever since, though. So, hey, you can't go there with me. And you're lucky if Dwight wasn't up here, because he would tear you up, you know what I'm saying, verbally. So don't even try it. You ain't talking to no fool. We ain't on no Democratic slave plantation no more. See how these white liberals try to be? They want to try to get us back on the Democratic slave plantation. You know what I'm saying? Those days are over. We ain't your, you know what. All right, go and play the Trump. Thank you for the likes, though, too. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
In major cities like in New Orleans, Nashville, we saw a 250% increase in arrests. We got, and we really went after the bad ones. These include 725 individuals wanted for violent crimes against children and murderers. These arrests are in addition to the work of our historic federal task forces that make D.C. safe.
Have a nice day as well, too. Thank you for coming into the room.
The job they've done, it's incredible. And it's been so nice because so many people, they're going out to dinner and they're having dinners. They didn't go out for 4 years.
Let me tear Mr. Boston up. You can tell that if you know about jive, that makes you one of these old heads. What you talking about, jive? You one of these old heads, though, Well, jive. What you talking about, right? Oh, my goodness. You lost, too. Your party is trash. The Democratic Party will not be the future. We're looking at least, 20 to 40 years out. All this corruption, steady being exposed. Now you done lost the black vote. Blacks are leaving the Democratic Party by the droves, right? They don't rock with the Democratic Party. Only fools do, right? Or the ones that haven't woken up yet. Either or. We in the winning circle, sir. That's why I just go in here and troll y'all back, boy. And I love it, too. You ain't got a footy. You ain't got to win. Trump's still kicking your behind on the tariffs. Thank you for the likes, too. I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Win, win, win. That's all we know how to do is win. And what does the Democrats do? Lose, lose, lose. Pedos. Oh, my God. Pedos. Charlie, Kirk was a Nazi. That's all they got, though. Whoa, where's my baby cry at? I got to do it right, though. Hold on for a minute. Dwight, you ain't heard. I got upgrades to this dumb madness, right? Let me see here. All right. Ain't that something? Yeah, look at that. Ain't that so? Ain't that something?
Under the administration, the FBI has arrested over 23,000 violent criminals, more than double the number arrested in the final year of the Biden disaster. The FBI has also destroyed or severely disrupted more than 170 organized criminal enterprises and gangs, 1,600 of the most violent gangs, and confiscated over 6,000 illegal firearms. And they've tracked down and arrested 4 fugitives on the most wanted list. 4 of the most wanted. Actually, 2 of them were the most wanted fugitives in the world. There's still much more work to be done, which is why the FBI continues to work alongside the Department of Justice, the Department of Homeland Security, and the Department of War to defend. And Pete Hegseth has been fantastic, by the way, on this too, on other things, but on this too, to defend law and order and combat violent crime, arrest illegal aliens, and make American cities the safest in the world. And when I campaigned, I talked about crime, but I never knew that we were going to get into it like we did. You know, I mean, I used to watch these cities with the murders. Chicago recently had one deal where they had 11 murders in one weekend, and they said, well, yeah, but it was a holiday weekend. They actually told me that was the reason, like it was okay because it was a holiday. It was Labor Day. These people are the worst. They really have to. They better, I tell you what, the people in Chicago and the people in places like that can be fixed. At some point, it gets to where you can't fix it anymore. It's too far gone. And we have some cities like that. But these are great cities that can be fixed. I'm going to be strongly recommending, at the request of government officials, which is always nice, that you start looking at San Francisco. I think we can make San Francisco. There's one of our great cities 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and now it's a mess. And we have great support in San Francisco, so I'd like to recommend that for inclusion, maybe in your next group. You'll get great support. Every American deserves to live in a community where they're not afraid of being mugged, murdered, robbed, raped, assaulted, or shot. And that's exactly what our administration is working to deliver. I didn't realize I was going to make this such a big factor in the administration. I didn't really campaign. I campaigned on crime, but I never thought we'd go into every city and take a really safe city that we've all been living with for years and make them safe. And now it's like a passion for me, and it's a passion for the people behind me. So I didn't get elected. I did get elected for crime, but I didn't get elected for what we're doing. This is many, many steps above. And I want to thank Stephen Miller, who's right back in the audience right there. I'd love to have him. I love watching him on television. I'd love to have him come up and explain his true feelings, but maybe not his truest feelings. That might be going a little bit too far. But Stephen, thank you for doing an unbelievable job. And the people of this country love you, I'll tell you, and they love what you say about crime and stopping crime. So now I'd like to ask Director Patel to say a few words, and then Pam and Todd also. And I just want to congratulate them. This is an amazing thing, and we're just at the start. We're going to go into other cities that we're not talking about purposely. We're getting ready to go in. And when they go in, like Cash as an example, told me that people didn't even know. 5 months ago, they went into Chicago, and they started doing a lot of work in Chicago, and we brought the numbers down a little bit. And but that really was just preparatory work for what we're going to do with the surge. We're going to have a surge of strong, good people, patriots, and they're going to go in, they straighten it all out. So a lot of these cities we're already working on, but we don't do it with a big flavor. But in a little while, you're going to see some numbers that you're not going to believe. And I think you'll probably start with Memphis, because I'm hearing the numbers are much quicker than we even thought possible. But again, D.C. it speaks for itself. Chicago is going to be okay. We're going to save Chicago. And I told you, and I told them, a very respected man, the head of the Union Pacific, said, "Sir, save Chicago. It can be saved." And the way he said it, it was like, can you believe it? We're trying to save Chicago. But I understood exactly what he wants, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to save all of our cities, and we're going to make them essentially crime-free, like other countries have crime-free. If you go all over the world, you go to the world, you hear Afghanistan and you hear all these different places. Our crime in certain cities is worse than anything they can even imagine. And we're not going to have that any longer. It's going to stop, and it stops right here. Cash, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. What I'd like to do is just highlight some of the outstanding work that the men and women of the FBI have been doing. And thanks to your brave leadership and the mandate you were given by the American people to not only defend the homeland but crush violent crime, you tasked us with our great partners at the Department of Justice and the Attorney General and the Deputy Attorney General to start making arrests and bring prosecutions and safeguard our cities. And you said it, this is just the beginning. In just 7 months, I hope the media takes a look at every one of these charts, because these are the best numbers for fighting crime in U.S. history, and it's only 7 months in. And to do that, our vehicle to do it of choice was Operation Summer Heat, which the FBI architected to go after violent criminals. And in just a 3-month span, you had 8,700 arrests of violent criminals. You had 2,200 firearms seized off the streets permanently to safeguard our communities. You had 421 kilograms of fentanyl seized. Just to put that in perspective, that's enough to kill 55 million Americans alone. You had 45,000 kilograms of cocaine seized, and thanks to our Department of Justice partners, you had 2,100 indictments in 3 months, from June to September alone. Mr. President, that in and of itself would be historic for a 4-year presidency. You did that in 7 months because you let good cops be cops, and you partnered us with the right people at the Department of Justice to put the handcuffs on and bring them to court and put them in prison. And if that weren't enough, when you look at the year, for the entire 7-month period that we're talking about here, if you look at the past 4 years of the Biden administration, 16,000, 17,000, 15,000, 15,000. That's the number of arrests year over year of violent felons in this country for the Biden administration. Mr. President, in 7 months, you have 28,600 arrests of violent felons in just 7 months alone, because of your leadership and the dedication of the men and women at the FBI who want to go out there and do the job they were prevented from doing because that department used to be weaponized and politicized. And this is what happens when you take out the fangs of weaponization. This number is historic by every metric. 28,000 people have been arrested, violent felons alone. And then when you go over there and look at some of these charts, if you don't mind, I'll just hop over here. Look at the metrics for not just violent crime, but the homeland. Mr. President, during your administration, the FBI has found and located 5,400 children. That is a 30% increase year to date over the last administration. Violent crimes against children arrests alone are up 10%. Gang arrests are up 210% in the last 7 months alone. And transnational organized crime, which Stephen Miller has been a great partner in, is up over 12% alone. These numbers are historic just as a snapshot. But just so people don't think we're focusing on violent crime alone, the national security mission, Mr. President, under your leadership has never been stronger. We have gone after espionage activities against our main counterparts in China, Russia, and Iran. In China alone, we've had over a 50% increase in espionage and arrests alone in prosecution. In Iran, we have had a 50% increase, again, in espionage cases. And in Russia, we've had a 33% increase in espionage cases alone. When it comes to counterterrorism, year to date, we have 125 arrests this year versus 100 last year, year to date alone. And when it comes to the cyber criminal activities, which are some of the largest enterprises plaguing everyday Americans, we at the FBI have put out a mission to go after cyber criminals like never before. Last year, they had in total 191. This year, you already have 252 arrests. 52 arrests of violent cyber criminals who are stealing from senior citizens, who are violating our children's rights and freedoms, and who are violating everyday Americans. These programs are record. And two of the things I'll finish with that I'm most proud of, Mr. President, this FBI. Fentanyl. As you know, it's a scourge that is killing our youth, 100,000 plus a year. To date, the FBI has seized 1,900 kilograms of fentanyl. That's enough lethal doses to kill 127 million Americans alone, to date. And if that weren't enough, Mr. President, you said we have to go after the worst of the worst. And you empowered our Department of Justice, our Attorney General, Deputy Attorney General, and the Deputy Director at the FBI, led the charge, not just on summer heat, but he also led the charge to the FBI's 10 most wanted fugitives. These people have been on the run for years. And in 7 months, you captured not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 of the FBI's most top 10 fugitives. 4. And just to put that in perspective, Mr. President, the Biden administration captured 4 in all of 4 years. You're on 7, and we're going to get to 10. We're going to get to 10 of 10. This includes a lady who murdered her 6-year-old handicapped child and fled to India. We got her in 2 months. This includes a narco trafficker. This includes a sex trafficker. This includes another first-degree murder and gangbang. These people were on the run because of the prior administration's reckless policies that destroyed our communities. And you came in and with a mandate said, go after the worst of the worst. This is just the beginning. This is what happens when you let good cops be good cops at the FBI. Mr. President, I just want to thank you for your incredible leadership, our great partnership with prosecutors who know how to bring cases and make sure these arrests stick. And that's what the Attorney General and the Deputy Attorney General have led the charge across this country, because arrests without prosecutions are meaningless. We are deterring criminals from doing this activity. We are preventing criminals from coming into America, and we are absolutely crushing violent crime and federal reform and defending this homeland, sir. And not to mention, I almost forgot this one. It took you, sir, 2 weeks to get the Abbey Gate bomber. Joe Biden had 4 years to look for him. You got him in 2 weeks, thanks to the interagency effort by the FBI and the CIA.
Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. Dwight and Angela, I'm going to let y'all, Angelica, I'm sorry about that. I'm going to let y'all hold down the fort. Just give me a minute.
And we're going to continue to find the others, Mr. President. On behalf of the FBI, sir, I just want to thank you.
Thank you very much, Casey. Great job. Very good. Very impressive. Pam, would you like to say something, please?
President Trump, the men and women of law enforcement say 2 things to me repeatedly. First, you have taken the handcuffs off them and let them do their jobs, and you let cops be cops. That's why all this is happening. The director, the deputy director are working around the clock. All of these great men and women in the FBI, they have families at home, and they are working during a government shutdown right now. Many of them have small children. Many of them, I was talking to an agent this morning, many of them have babies at home, and they are working around the clock to not only keep our country, but our world safe. And that's what Operation Summer Heat did. Thank you, Director, and to the Deputy Director for everything you did on behalf of the Department of Justice, and you're going to continue to keep doing. And they set the stage for what we're doing in Memphis. You're going to hear a lot more about that, our joint task force next week, but they set the stage for Memphis. And last night alone in Memphis, there were almost 70 arrests. There were 12 guns seized, and there was a 70-year-old man arrested as a result of our operation in Memphis who raped a child under the age of 3. That one case makes everything we're doing worthwhile. So thank you all for being here on behalf of both of us. Thank you, President Trump.
Thank you. Todd, you want to say something?
Sure. Thank you, Mr. President. So this is a great day, and I think there's stats that the director talked about which are important, but I want to give 2 examples of what summer heat has done that actually will apply hopefully to everybody in this room. The first is for over 4 years during the last administration, there was a hotel in a town, the middle of a town in Alaska, that was being run as a drug den. There were over 1,000 calls to 911 over 4.5 year period. There were multiple violent crimes, drug dealers, overdoses, and murders at this one hotel, ruining a community. Summer Heat went in there. It's not only arrested all the participants that were controlling the hotel, but seized the hotel. And so that's one example of what summer heat means to everyday Americans that just want to live in peace. The second example is a large narcotics trafficking group that was selling fentanyl in the state of Washington. They were shipping fentanyl and using commercial aircraft, putting fentanyl pills and powder onto in suitcases, flying them from the southwest border, mostly Arizona, all the way to Washington. It had been going on for an extremely long time, and the entire organization was arrested. And I say those two examples because it's easy to look at the board and see 1,000 arrests. How much different is our communities now compared to the past 4 years? But there's actual life examples. Every one of these arrests means that our streets are safer, and that's because of the work of this administration, of President Trump and Director Patel. So I will tell you, Attorney General Bondi and I are together every day with Director Patel, figuring out ways that we can continue to do this work, and it's not going to stop. Like the Attorney General said, and like the President said, this is just the beginning, or phase one, or a start, whatever you want to say, but it will continue on. So thank you, Mr. President, and thank you very much, Director Patel.
And Mr. President, just one last thank you from the men and women at the FBI. You found a way to get these individuals paid during a government shutdown, our 1811 agents. So on behalf of the FBI, it's a great debt that we owe you, sir. They're now allowed to pay for their families, so thank you.
And the military. Good.
That's right.
Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. Any questions, please? Brian, go ahead.
First of all, I know the feedback I'm getting from the American people, they want to say thank you. Law and order is not an option in this country, it's a mandate. So I know the American people, thank you for that. In terms of the guns that have been taken off the street, do you have a number of how many guns were taken away from someone that had a prior felony or a previous crime that perhaps we can prosecute that? Because I know that wasn't the case under Joe Biden.
We don't take guns off the streets of people that are allowed to have guns. So every gun that we're taking off the street is because it belongs to somebody who is not allowed to have it. Could be a felon, could be somebody who hears illegally. There's all sorts of conditions. But if there's a gun taken off the streets by the FBI, it's because the person who has it is not allowed to. It's not somebody who's lawfully allowed to have it. So every single one of those guns were taken off of people that aren't allowed to have them.
And not including the FBI, all of the other agencies. ATF alone since January 20th has removed over 25,000 illegal guns off our streets just since President Trump's been in office.
And Mr. President, if I could follow up on that, could there be any further conversation to have national concealed carry applied to actual DC? Like if you had a driver's license in Texas and you had a permit, of course you could drive.
Well, as you know, they've been talking about that for a long time. It's an interesting question. A lot of people feel strongly both ways, but we are talking about that, Brian. Thank you.
Mr. President, on Venezuelan boats, I want to ask you, why not have the Coast Guard stop them, which it is empowered by law to do? You know, this way you can confirm who's on the boat and ensure that they're doing what you suspect.
Because we've been doing that for 30 years, and it has been totally ineffective. They have faster boats. Some of these boats are seriously, they're world-class speedboats, but they're not faster than missiles. But we've been trying to do that for years, and so much of the drugs, 25–30%, would come in through the seas. Right now we have, I would say, none coming in through the seas. In fact, I don't know about the fishing industry. If you want to go fishing, a lot of people aren't deciding to even go fishing. We've almost totally stopped it by sea. Now we'll stop it by land.
What's the next step?
But it never worked. It never worked when you did it in a very politically correct manner.
What's the next step in this war on cartels, and are you considering options, are you considering strikes on land?
Well, I don't want to tell you exactly, but we are certainly looking at land now because we've got the sea very well under control. We've had a couple of days where there isn't a boat to be found. And that, I view that as a good thing, not a bad thing. But we had tremendous amounts coming in by boats, by very expensive boats. You know, they have a lot of money, very fast, very expensive boats that were pretty big. And the way you look at it is every boat that we knock out, we save 25,000 American lives. So every time you see a boat and you feel badly, you say, wow, that's rough. It is rough, but if you lose 3 people and save 25,000 people, these are people that are killing our population. Every boat is saving 25,000 lives, and you can see it. The boats get hit, and you see that fentanyl all over the ocean. It's like floating in bags. It's all over the place, and it's a tremendous. We're saving tremendous amounts of lives.
Yeah, Mr. President, on that issue.
I know you've talked about. I have a question for you, and then I also have a question for Director Patel.
I know you talked about having some distaste for Boston recently. Is this one of those cities that you might be looking into, and can you give us a hint about other cities that you might be?
You're saying for where? For where?
For Boston.
Yeah, well, Boston has a bad mayor who at least is a reasonable IQ person. You know, most of them are low IQ, but and they're so bad. I mean, what's going on in Chicago is just, you'd think the guy would say, hey, look, we have a problem, Mr. President. Could you come in and straighten it out? We could have that done in a month if we had their cooperation. It's going to be done anyway, but we could have it done in a month. Yeah, Boston, she's got 4 areas that are, wrong. And, somebody said, would we think about taking the World Cup away from Boston if they don't straighten it out? And the answer is yes. We have the right to do that with FIFA. So if we think that LA is going to be bad, or we think that applies a little bit to the Olympics too, but we'll talk about FIFA first. FIFA is very hot. If we think there's any reason that, whether it's Boston or anywhere else, that they're not doing their job, we're going to take those World Cup games and move them someplace else.
Thank you. And then Director Patel, there's been so many conspiracy theories swirling around about the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Do you have any updates for us, especially in light of all the online content that everyone's been talking about?
The only thing we deal with at the FBI and the Department of Justice is facts, and we delivered in record speed a manhunt to capture Charlie Kirk's alleged assassin in 33 hours. And if you put that in perspective to Luigi Mangione or the Boston bomber, they took them 5 days and a police officer lost their life in their manhunt. We are running out absolutely every single lead, and the best thing we can do to honor my friend Charlie Kirk's life is to make sure that everyone involved is prosecuted to the full extent of the law, and that's what we're focused on, investigating the facts, not trading in conspiracy theories.
Okay.
Mr. President, thank you so much.
Thank you.
In light of China's export curbs on rare earths, do you view India as a reliable partner going forward? And are you planning to meet Prime Minister Modi in Malaysia? Are you open to talks in terms of trade?
Sure. He's a friend of mine. We have a great relationship. He just said that 2 days ago, as you know. We have a great relationship. No, we were not happy with him buying oil from Russia, because that lets Russia continue on with this ridiculous war where they've lost 1.5 million people, by the way. Russia's lost 1.5 million people, soldiers mostly. This is a war that should have never started, but it's a war that Russia should have won in the first week, and they're going into the 4th year. And I want to see it stop. So I was not happy that India was buying oil. And he assured me today that they will not be buying oil from Russia. That's a big stop. Now I got to get China to do the same thing. That is relatively easy compared to what we just did over the last week in the Middle East. Middle East was 3,000 years, and we got it done. This is 3 years, and I think we'll get it done. I think that President Putin, I think he wants to get it done. We'll see. There's a great animosity between him and Zelensky. You probably have noticed, right? And it's, I think it's hurting the process. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, thank you. Curious, why did you authorize the CIA to go into Venezuela? And is there more information you can share about these strikes on the alleged
Well, I can't
drug
do
busts in
that,
the
but
Caribbean?
I authorized for 2 reasons, really. Number one, they have emptied their prisons into the United States of America. They came in through the border. They came in because we had an open border policy. And as soon as I heard that, I said, a lot of these countries, they're not the only country, but they're the worst abuser. And they've they've allowed thousands and thousands of prisoners, people from mental institutions, insane asylums, emptied out into the United States. We're bringing them back. But that's a really bad, and they did it at a level that probably not, many countries have done it, but not like Venezuela. They were down and dirty. And the other thing are drugs. We have a lot of drugs coming in from Venezuela. And a lot of the Venezuelan drugs come in through the sea, so you get to see that. But we're going to stop them by land also.
Does the CIA have authority to take out Maduro?
Oh, I don't want to answer a question like that. That's a ridiculous question for me to be given. Not really a ridiculous question, but wouldn't it be a ridiculous question for me to answer? But I think Venezuela is feeling heat, but I think a lot of other countries are feeling heat too. We're not going to let this country, our country, be ruined because other people want to drop, as you say, their worst. They have given us their worst. They've loaded up our country with prisoners, with mentally ill people that are seriously ill, criminally ill. And we're not going to take it. And so, I mean, it's just one of those things. And I can tell you, We've taken care of the sea. There's nobody, and we're watching. We're watching. And if we see it, we'll save it. Yeah, please.
On the ships, though, sir, there are Republicans and Democrats up on the Hill concerned that in the briefings they've gotten about those attacks, they're not necessarily getting information about who was on them and what exactly was on those ships. Can you ensure that?
But they are given information that they were loaded up with drugs, and that's the thing that matters. When they're loaded up with drugs, they're fair game. And every one of those ships they're not ships, they're boats, they're speedboats. They're extremely fast, record-setting type speedboats. They cost a lot of money, and they have a lot of money because they're drug sellers. But they know one thing, and they all have the same thing in common. There's drug dust. They call it drug dust. They call it fentanyl dust all over the boat after those bombs go off, and you can take along.
Attack them, though, that they're a drug.
We know before. We know when they go out. We know we have much information about each boat that goes out. Deep, strong information. Yeah, please.
Sir, you're going to have Vladimir Zelensky here this week. What is your message at this stage of the war for him? And shy of tomahawks.
To who is it?
For Zelensky.
Yeah.
And shy of tomahawks for Ukraine. Are you considering other options, and will you speak with Vladimir Putin about
No, we're looking at other options. We are. President Zelensky's coming in. I'm not a fan of the war. I'm not a fan of the way it started. It should have never happened. It wouldn't have started if I were president. The election was rigged. And because of that, we lost a lot of lives have been lost because of that war. Not American lives, but if I can save a lot of lives, that's why I'm in it. I want to save lives. I've had 8 wars. The Prime Minister of Pakistan got up the other day, said so beautifully, says, you saved millions of lives. He told that to a group of people right in this office. He said the president saved millions of lives. And I think what he's referring to is the fact that that would have been with India, nuclear war. That was getting very close. 7 planes, they don't talk about it, but 7 aircraft were shot down. In fact, we have the new ambassador to India right here. They're well represented. You better represent us, not them, okay? But Sergio's going to do a great job. He's going to do a great job. But no, we'll be talking about the war with him, and we'll be talking about, they want to go offensive. I'll make a determination on that, but they would like to go offensive, you know that, and we'll have to make a determination.
Given you have the FBI director and attorney general here today, Jim Jordan has asked Jack Smith to appear in front of the House Judiciary.
You mean deranged, Jack? He's a deranged individual, yeah.
He's asked him to
well, they should. I'm surprised it takes so long. We're talking about violent crime. What about the crime against a political opponent? That's what we have to talk about, too.
Jordan would like to understand the full extent to which the Biden-Harris Justice Department weaponized federal law enforcement. What do you think the committee will find out, Mr. Smith?
I think it was the worst weaponization of a political opponent in the history of the world, let alone this country. And I hope that everybody's, they're involved in it. I'm not. I'm the one that had to suffer through it and ultimately win. But what they did was criminal. Deranged Jack Smith, in my opinion, is a criminal. And I noticed his interviewer was, I think that was Weissman. And I hope they're going to look into Weissman, too. Weissman's a bad guy. And he had somebody in Lisa, who was his puppet, worked in the office really as the top person. And I think
it just
she
gets
should
better
be
and better
looked at very strongly. There was tremendous criminal activity having to do. If we don't have fair elections in this country, we're not going to have a country.
That has been
and I've said it from the
America.
beginning: fair elections and borders. And we need also fair press.
The United
because
States
if you don't have fair press, it's very tough.
They've been red
and
that's why I say it's going to be.
We've got the strongest border of anybody. Nobody has a border. We have a border where the numbers just came out again. You saw 0 people came in illegally. Now, we do take people into our country legally, but 0 people. But, you're talking about a different subject. You're talking about political crime. They have committed massive
photo there. I got to get a mural
political
of that
crime
when it goes down.
I hope they're looking at Shifty Schiff. I hope they're looking at all these people. And I'm allowed to find out. I'm allowed to, I'm, in theory, the chief law enforcement officer. But I have a very good, talented group. This is about something else. But I hope they're looking at political crime because there's never been so much political crime against a political opponent as what I had to go through. They raided my house in Florida. It was an illegal raid. I have a lawsuit that was doing very well. And when I became president, I said, I'm sort of suing myself. I don't know. How do you settle the lawsuit? I'll say, give me X dollars, right? And I don't know what to do with the lawsuit. It's a great lawsuit, and now I won. It sort of looks bad. I'm suing myself, right? So I don't know. But that was a lawsuit that was very strong, very powerful. They raided illegally my house in Florida, Mar-a-Lago. They went through the drawers of my young son. They went through all of the cabinets and drawers of the First Lady. She walked in, she said, wow, what happened? Because she's very meticulous, and this wasn't so meticulous. As she looked into the drawers and she saw everything a mess. What they did against a person that just got out of office. And then you look at these corrupt people. You look at Hunter Biden. You look at the signature. As an example, the Europen. I just signed so many different things. An admiral, a four-star general. I'm signing them left and right, the commissions. And by the way, I want to compliment John Thune and also Mike, our great speaker. But John Thune, all of a sudden, I'm getting these things by the hundreds. I was getting one every 2 weeks. It would have been 4 years before you got them in more. You would have had some that didn't even get in, all because of Democrat obstruction. So John Thune did a great job. I must have signed 200 into the administration. We're just about caught up. It's amazing. And so compliments to John. He had to do some things that were very tough to do that he didn't want to do, but he was forced to do it by the Democrats. And as far as the shutdown's concerned, this is a Democrat Schumer shutdown. And he's trying to do it to get relevance back into the party because he's a loser. I've known him all his life. He's always been sort of a loser, but an intelligent one. But I think he's losing IQ points with time. I think that happens. I hope it hasn't happened with me. I know if it did, you guys will let me know about it very quickly.
Question on violent crimes, sir. Here in D.C., a judge has given the two teenagers that beat up ex-DOJ staffer Big Balls probation.
It's incredible.
And no jail time. Is this justice?
Jeanine Pirro is doing a fantastic job, and she is beside herself because you have these radical left judges that they beat the hell out of this guy. And there was many people against this one guy who was really trying to protect his girlfriend. He didn't want his hooded over the door but they really beat him up badly. That just happened, right? Yes. Wow, that's terrible. I think the judge should be ashamed of himself. That's a big problem. You know, they can do their job and then they go into a court and the people are protected by these, I don't know where they come from. Where do these people come from? Where do the judges come from? I want to compliment on behalf of Pam and Todd and all of us because, Cash, I think that Jeanine has done a fantastic job. And the case I heard was like flawless. It's a flawless case. They have them on tape. They have everything. And then a judge gives them a little probation. These are rough guys. And they're young. And if that happens, they're going to grow up. They're going to be real bad. They're going to cause a lot of problems. Yeah, please. Go ahead.
So, DOJ Board has just gotten back from India.
Right.
What were the conversations like with Prime Minister Modi and the other?
I think they were great. He reported to me that he's a great man, you know. Modi is a great man. That he loves Trump. Now, I don't know if the word love, I don't want you to take that any different. I don't want to destroy his political career, okay? But you have to understand, I've watched India for years. It's an incredible country. And every single year you'd have a new leader. I mean, some would be in there for a few months. And this was year after year after year. And my friend has been there now for a long time. And he's assured me there will be no oil purchased from Russia. I don't know, maybe that's a breaking story. Can I say that? Would you say? There will be no oil. He's not buying his oil from Russia. It started. You know, you can't do it immediately. It's a little bit of a process. But the process is going to be over with soon.
All right,
and all we
ladies
want
and gentlemen,
from President Putin is
I thank you all for hanging out with your boy
Ukraine
and things, and
stop
I
killing
thank you for the
Russians because
likes
he's killing
again.
a lot
You
of
guys
Russians.
are killing it today
Again,
with the likes. Let me
it
tell you,
doesn't
though,
make him
boy.
look good. It's a
I
war
put
that he
this,
should have won
this
in
is
1 week,
This was
and he's now
generated
going
by
into his fourth
yours
year.
truly,
That
our
does not
president that
look
we
this,
all
make
know and
this
love.
big
Let me put this on mute. just for
so-called
one
war
moment.
machine look good.
This was generated by the president that we all know and love, and it's done by Donald Trump. And this was done about a year. I believe it was last year. But at any event, it was posted on, I believe, Truth Social. And I saved it. I copied it and saved it. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen. There it is. So there it is, right? Yep. I appreciate the likes, too, guys. You guys have been rocking it out. So that's exactly what it is, right? So that's why they're butthurt here. They're upset, right? TDS and all the rest of this stuff. Acting crazy, acting childish, acting foolish. Nothing typical coming from the left and things.
But he could make. We got the people that we want paid, okay? And we want the FBI paid, we want the military paid. We got the people that we want paid. And I'll tell you, the Democrats, they don't talk about this. You know, we're getting rid of programs that we didn't like, but that were negotiated in, but we didn't like. We're terminating those programs, and they're going to be terminated on a permanent basis. And it's thousands of people, and it's billions of dollars. We're getting rid of a lot of things that we never wanted because of the fact that they made this stupid move. And they don't want to talk about it. You know, they have their day coming up. I hear very few people are going to be there, by the way. But they have their day coming up, and they want to have their day in the sun. But they should really make a deal. So what we're doing, I mean, they call him Darth Vader, but he's actually a very nice person, Russell Vogt. But Russell Vogt is really terminating tremendous numbers of Democrat projects. There's not only jobs, I mean, the project in Manhattan, the project in New York, it's billions and billions of dollars that Schumer has worked 20 years to get. It's terminated. Tell him it's terminated, Jennifer. All right.
On Hamas, sir, what is your understanding of the pace of returning the deceased hostages? Are you pleased?
Well, they're looking for them. Absolutely, they're looking. So we have the living hostages all back. They returned some more today. It's a gruesome process. I almost hate to talk about it. But they're digging. They're actually digging. There are areas where they're digging and they're finding a lot of bodies. Then they have to separate the bodies. You wouldn't believe this. And some of those bodies have been in there a long time, and some of them are under rubble. They have to remove rubble. But there are graves, and some are in tunnels that died in tunnels that are way down under the earth, and the tunnels are like 3 feet. Can you believe it? 3 feet high. They lived like this for a long period of time. It's a horrible atrocity. At the same time, we, meaning Israel, but I knew everything they were doing pretty much. I knew most of the things they were doing, but they've killed probably 70,000 of these people, Hamas. And I said, it's time now. So we'll see what happens. We'll also see what happens. Your next question is going to be the weapons. We want the weapons to be given up, sacrificed, and they've agreed to do it. Now they have to do it, and if they don't do it, we'll do it.
We had the head of CENTCOM today suggest that Hamas needs to hurry up and disarm and follow your comprehensive plan.
Yeah.
That it was the head of CENTCOM saying that. Is that not a signal to Hamas, to the rest of the world, that at some point the U.S. military may more directly engage?
We won't need the U.S. military. We won't need it.
Why not just you?
Because we're very much involved in it. If we weren't involved, there wouldn't be peace. If we didn't destroy the nuclear capability of Iran, that deal would have never happened for two reasons. The Arab nations would not have felt bold enough to do it because you have a very powerful, at that time, Iran. It's not powerful anymore between what Israel and us did. Because, the attack was, if you look at it, we helped them very much. They will be the first to tell you, including shooting down thousands of drones that were coming into Israel. We shot them down. We were shooting them down like it was target practice, but we shot down thousands of drones and missiles also going into Israel. But between what we did to Iran that way with the, conventional, we will call it, and what see that beautiful plane, that B-2, I noticed it on the desk. I always thought it was beautiful, but I never understood it. Now I understand it. It took in hundreds of thousands of bombs in the form of two, but hundreds of thousands of pounds of bombs. And every single bomb hit perfectly. Then they sent Tomahawks in. They sent 30 Tomahawks on top of it. And that was totally, CNN said, well, maybe it wasn't as bad as, as Trump said, because I said obliterated. Obliterated is not a strong enough word, actually. And you saw the Atomic Energy Commission came out and said the word obliteration is very, very, think of it. They came in under potential fire. They entered Iran airspace late at night, in the dark, no moon. The moon was low for a reason. What's what time we picked it. Couldn't see anything. and they hit every target, and they weren't hit. Nobody saw that plane. That plane is stealth. Nobody saw it. The problem with that is it may be stealth today, but tomorrow it won't be. And we just ordered about 20 brand new B-2 bombers. It's unbelievable as a weapon. I know Putin, when I was riding with him in Alaska, we passed a lot of them. And he said, that really did the trick. I said, yeah, it did. It's amazing. The flying wing.
But you still see no reason for the U.S. military to get involved in Gaza?
No, I don't see that. No, I think we're going to handle it very well. We'll be helping Israel. But we have other countries that are now. You know, we signed, many countries signed. And many of those countries relatively are very strong military powers. And Hamas has no support. See, Hamas had the support of Iran. And now Iran says, don't get us involved. The last time they got them involved didn't work out too well. So they used to have the support of Iran. Today, Iran they're trying to survive. You know, when I heard the reports 2 weeks ago, Iran's looking to build a nuclear weapon, I said, don't worry about it. They got a lot of things they want to do before nuclear weapons. I said, the last thing they want to do is a nuclear weapon. It didn't work out. And if they did a nuclear weapon before they got even close, that site would be attacked and it would be wiped out. Yeah.
Mr. President, you're meeting with President Xi in a few weeks.
Yeah.
If you can't come to an agreement or a deal at that meeting, are we in for a sustained trade war with China?
Well, you're in one now. Look, we have 100% tariff. If we didn't have tariffs, we would be exposed as being a nothing. We would have no defense. You know, they've used tariffs on us, but we've never had anybody sitting in that chair that felt the need to do it. And they've allowed us to be $37 trillion in debt, et cetera, et cetera. Tariffs are a very important tool for our defense, for our national security. If we don't have tariffs, we're not going to have national security. As an example, if you look at Pakistan and Iran, I told them I was in the midst of negotiating a trade deal with Iran, and Pakistan was going to be in line. And because of tariffs, they all want to negotiate much differently. We're making a good deal. And then I heard that they're shooting at each other. And I said during one of my conversations, are you guys going to go to war? Two nuclear powers we are thinking about. I said, here's the deal. You go to war, I'm going to put a 200% tariff. I'm going to stop you from doing any business in the United States. I said it to both of them. Within 24 hours, the war ended. That would have been a nuclear war. And again, the Prime Minister of Pakistan, who was here 2 weeks ago, said that man saved many millions of lives in front of a whole group of people because he thought it was going to be war. But when it came to war or having to pay massive tariffs, the tariffs overrode. That's why it's so important. Not only the money, we're taking in trillions of dollars, not only the money, the power to keep peace, the power to be used for good is enormous. But a lot of people didn't understand tariffs. It's also made us very rich. We have a big case coming up in the Supreme Court, and I will tell you, that's one of the most important cases in the history of our country, because if we don't win that case, we will be a weakened, troubled, financial mess for many, many years to come. I don't even know if survivable is a good term. And if we do, we're going to be the most powerful economic country in the world. And all we're doing is using them as a defense against what took place for many years. China would charge us tariffs. It was incredible, but we weren't allowed to charge. And we're allowed to do whatever we want. We just had presidents that didn't want to do it for whatever reason. And it was nothing. But of the 8 wars, I was saying 7, of the 8 wars, I would say tariffs are directly responsible for me ending 6 of them, 5 or 6. Without the tariffs, you have wars raging all over the world. With the tariffs, other than Russia, we have no wars out there. And we've made a lot of good friends, too. Tariffs are so important to our national security. If we don't have tariffs, we don't have national security. Our country would suffer a level that, because they're used so strongly on us. As an example, the European Union, they won't take our cars, they won't take our agriculture, they won't take anything, but they send their cars in, Mercedes, BMW, Volkswagen, by the millions. We don't send any cars. They don't take them. They were tariffing us out. Agricultural products, they don't take our agriculture. They want their farmers to do it. I understand that. But it was very unfair, and they were tariffing our product.
All right, hold on
they're
for
keeping
one
up
moment.
by using
And I
tariffs.
appreciate y'all coming in the room. For those that have just been coming in and stuff, I put that photo up with Obama. That was generated by Trump, by yours truly, over a year or so ago. I thought it would be nice to put that up for the future of his arrest, you know, not recently, not now. So this ain't bait click. I just realized that. So for the future, you know, of him being arrested by the FBI, I'm talking about Obama, you know, for crimes against America and things, and treason, you know, and defunding the military and making enemies across our country and things like that, and attacking our allies and so forth. So, yeah, so that's the reason why I put that up, though. Let me go ahead and play Trump, though. So now that I got that out the way, you know.
But I used him. And now we made one of the great deals with your $650 billion they pay us. And we've evened it out. It's really a good thing to
All right, just give me a minute, ladies and gentlemen.
It's one of the most important cases ever brought, because we will be defenseless against the world. Okay?
You'll go to the tariff case?
Did you have one? Yes, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to ask you about the Georgia Senate race. I know it's very early, but there's several Republicans.
Boy, look at Trump looking like $1 million bucks, boy.
A lot of good people in that field.
Look at him, man.
I know all of them.
This is what's going on.
I haven't made a decision on that, but you have some very good people in the Georgia Senate race.
Well, Governor Trump has endorsed.
No, I know. The governor has, and he's spoken to me about it a lot. He likes that candidate a lot. And I understand that. I haven't made a decision yet. But I'm following that race very carefully. I think it's very important for Georgia to get a real senator, because the senator they have now is a horrible senator. He allowed.
Yeah, that AI generated of Obama, man, it looks so real, doesn't it? It looks so real. But just wanted, as again, I put that up, right, to show the future of him being arrested by the FBI. So I just wanted to put that up there, you know. And, yeah, won't share that. These unrecognized numbers, boy, that call you, I don't even know who that is. Boy, I tell you, even on a Sunday. Oh, yeah, I know who that is. Sorry about that, y'all.
And the only reason I'm doing it, he speaks so well of me. He said, I'll go down as the greatest president in history. And then he blew it. He said, I'm not sure if I put him above Washington or Lincoln. So I'm not that happy about that, dude.
I've got a question about the weaponization of the DOJ. The media often says your department is weaponizing the DOJ.
Yeah, that's the opposite.
It's the opposite. Todd, you represented President Trump and probably the greatest weaponization of the DOJ by Alvin Bragg. You know firsthand, if you could describe what you saw under the Biden administration and how they weaponized the DOJ.
Well, I mean, I think it's hard to describe what happened in those last 4 years against President Trump.
Alvin Bragg, a local prosecutor, his office staffed by somebody from New Jersey. Jack Smith, picked as a special counsel, staffs his entire office with DOJ prosecutors. And then there are countless things that happened. All in writing, most of them on the docket, that require no explanation except a complete abomination of the place that the Attorney General might run now and Director itself. So when people talk about this department weaponizing, it's embarrassing. Because there's no scenario in which you can look at what we're doing, restoring justice, doing the right thing in every single case, and say that that's weaponization. and yet remain eerily silent about what happened for the past 3 years. And when you read these articles and giggle, because it cannot be true that people really think that what they did to him, not once, not twice, I'm still counting 3, 4 times, but we're the ones that are weaponizing. So this man is not weaponizing the Department of Justice. We're not weaponizing the Department of Justice. It's the opposite. I mean, and also, nobody questions what I'm saying because it's true, because we all lived the past 4 years. So listen.
They never want to bring up the details. But I watch the fake news, and oh, he's weaponized. And he wants to send them to prison. He wants all this. They indicted me like 5 times. I took a mugshot. Who would have thought it turned out to my favor? Because it was a good shot. But I had to take a mugshot. It's right out there on the door. New York Post, front page of every paper in the world. I had a mugshot. They wanted to send me, nobody says that. They say, he's acting very, very tough. He's acting unfair. Let me tell you, if they've been nice to anybody, it's to those criminals, because they are so good having to do with all of the things we're talking about today with violent crime. But if anything, I think this Justice Department has been so respectful of the law, because the other Justice Department, with Rita or Lisa and all of that scum, real scum, what they did to the political opponent of a guy that has a seriously low IQ. Now, in his case, it was low based on his career, but it got real low, okay? It was descending rapidly. But what they did to go after his political opponent is legendary, worse than any third world country, banana republic. And what we're doing is nothing. Are you kidding? Nothing. They write stories. Why aren't they doing this? And we'll leave. I don't have to leave it up to them, but I choose to at this moment at least. But there's never been anybody treated in the history of politics. You know, they say the 2 worst treated presidents by the media, etc., was that man right there, the late, great Abraham Lincoln, and this guy right there, Andrew Jackson. They say Andrew Jackson was treated terribly. They give him number 1 and number 2, but that was before I came along, Newt. I say I have number 1 times 10. Nobody's been treated like I've been treated. And I did a great job. You know, we had a great first term. And we had one of the most successful economies in history, et cetera. I rebuilt the military. We did a tremendous amount. The last part, we had a horrible thing called COVID, and we handled that well. We made ventilators for nations all over the world. We did a great job. Probably never get credit for it. Look at the therapeutics, the Regeneron, all the different things, the vaccines, all the things we did. We did a great job, but we had to focus on that. But we had the best economy in the history of our country. We're blowing it away right now. Look at the stock market. Hit another all-time high today. That's 48 days out of the few days that I've served. 48 days have already hit record highs. And we have, maybe most importantly, the number, we have now, I was saying 17, it's over $18 trillion is being poured into our country. It's because of the election and because of tariffs. Without the tariffs, you wouldn't have probably 18 cents. It's because of the tariffs, because there are no tariffs if they build in our country. And they understand that. So we have medical companies coming over. We have the AI. We're dominating China in AI. Everybody said that's impossible. We're dominating. I'm letting these massive plants build their own electric generating plants. They're becoming utilities in addition to everything. Maybe they'll make more money with that. Who knows? But they're building their own electric because we have an old grid. You wouldn't be able to do that. And we're dominating China. We're dominating with AI, which seems to be the new big thing. That's the new internet. That's the new whatever. So we're very happy with the job we're doing. I'm very happy with the job they're doing. But when you tell me about attacking a political opponent, there's never been, and I'm a legitimate opponent. I watch my son. He's got the #1 best-selling book now. My son, Eric, is a wonderful kid. That guy spent so much time with subpoenas. He got more subpoenas than anybody in the history of our country. Think of it. And he's an innocent, good boy. He's a good kid. He's always been a good kid. All of my children are good. They went through hell. My children went through federal grand juries on a hoax. Think of it. You have Adam Schiff and Hillary Clinton and others make up a hoax and then wanting to so they know it's a hoax, and they go before the press, say Donald Trump Jr. will go to jail because of what he's done with Russia. I'll never forget, I get a call from my son Don, and he said, Dad, I'm being accused of something with Russia. I don't know anything about Russia. He didn't know anything about it. Think of it, how bad they are. They say he'll go to prison for the rest of his life. He knew nothing about it. On a hoax, the Russian hoax, Russia hoax, on a story that they made up. And they made it up in order to explain why Hillary Clinton lost an election that she lost by pretty good numbers. The second one, actually the second one was even better, but the third one, this one was too big to rig. It was just too big to rig. They would have rigged it. They tried to rig it. But think of it. They want to send my children to jail, but they were after Don in particular. I'll never forget Adam Shifty Schiff, a total crooked guy, lying in Congress, making up a phone conversation that I have with you, totally made up. Then when he heard it was taped, he wanted to disappear. And Nancy Pelosi went crazy because they wanted to impeach me based on the conversation that was made up. When they heard the tape, everybody, I won it unanimously in the Republican Party. I got every single vote, something that never happens, and I beat it. But think of it, they want to put my son in jail for something that they made up. So they know they made it up. And they say he will serve the rest of his life in prison. These are sick, bad people. And don't tell me about us going after them. If anything, we've been very, very soft. I wouldn't be that soft, I'll tell you that. Thank you very much, everybody. Let's talk. Thank you very much. It's going to be Bill. Well, thank you very much, everybody. It's great to be in this beautiful Oval Office. It never looked so nice. We're getting great compliments, and you see outside how that's come out. It's been great. We make a lot of improvements to the White House, and we're doing that. One of the things you should be looking at is the Palm Court, because that's been totally redone. So we like to preserve and make better the White House, and that's really what's happened, and we're getting tremendous reviews, and we appreciate it. But we're here for a different reason. It's called Operation Summer Heat, which is an appropriate term in light of what we're doing. And early yesterday morning, I returned from the Middle East, where we celebrated a historic agreement to end years of suffering and conflict. Amazing. Every country came together. I mean, even the enemies came out and totally endorsed it. Everybody. I've never seen anything like it. Nobody's seen anything like it. And just as we are forging peace and stability abroad, we're also restoring peace and safety and stability at home. And you see that in Washington, D.C., maybe better than any place, because we got there, and within 12 days it was very good. And within 30 days, it's been as safe as any city in the country. It's been great. Took out 1,700 people, got them out. These are career criminals.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, I really appreciate y'all coming in today on a Sunday, listening to our favorite president that we all know and love, which is Donald J. Trump and things. So, yeah, so he's really been letting you know what's been going on and who the enemies of this country is, the great pushback and so forth, So, regards to that. So, yeah, it's just one of those things, man. We've been on here for how long now? Oh, man, almost 2 hours. Wow, I appreciate the likes, though, too. You guys, a lot of you are Trumpers out there like myself, So the Trumpers are prevailing. Ladies and gentlemen, the Patriots that we are pushing back big time, though. And this shows, though, too. Majority of the people that come in this room and the ones that have been liking what they've been hearing and things like that, Trump is looking like $1 million, fighting against the globalists, the deep state enemies of our country and things, and more patriots and things that are helping Trump pushing back against this treason that we are seeing and things. Thank you for the likes as well. So the things that Trump does, he's doing it for the country, ladies and gentlemen. We just had a congressman by the name of John James that was basically running for the Senate seat here in Michigan. What ended up happening is that Trump is looking at the internal polls in every state. This is what happened with Marjorie Taylor Greene. It's the same exact thing. Same thing, right? Right? That's the thing. So that's the same thing as what's been going on, right? Pushback against the deep state. This is exactly what it is. But going back to John James, he was going to run anyway after Trump told him not to, because he said that he would not be able to win in his district, in this area. You know what I'm saying? He would not be able to win for the governor's seat. You know what I'm saying? Over here in this district, Michigan. I mean, for the state. So he got mad, like Marjorie Taylor Greene. See, with these politicians, ladies and gentlemen, the reason that a lot of them want to run, especially when they become a congressman or a senator, because it's an easy 4-year ride or so, right? I mean, they can ride in the seat 2 to 4 years, cinchy job. They get the taxpayers' money and all that. John James is no different, right? So he's not MAGA, right? Just like Marjorie Taylor Greene is not MAGA, right? We need real people in the seat, real people that's going to stand up for America, real people, right? This is the people that we need, right? So therefore, I'm going to let Trump go ahead on, but this is the thing about it. This is not about them individual, but see, they looking at it individually and things. They're already looking at the internal polls. The Democrats see the polls too. They know they won't win the midterms. It's going to be impossible, right? With the red tsunami wave, no, they're not going to be able to do it. They know what the internal polls, they won't show us. But I have in my opinion, I believe they looked at the polls, and it's going to be very, very embarrassing, especially when they can't cheat anymore. This is the great pushback why they want the illegals in the country in the first place, right? They want them over here. These are their constituents. They want them over here, ladies and gentlemen, so they can keep doing what they always been doing. Not promising nothing, always promising, never delivering. And that's the progressive liberals. They always overpromise or promise, and we don't get nothing. Here it is, the first president. Trump told us what he was going to do. His 20 bullet points on his policy when he was running on for 2024. We already knew what he was going to do. He said he was going to shut down the border. He's done all these things. When we're talking about drill, baby drill, and all this other stuff, these are things that he's been doing, right? Tariffs and all that. Trump let us know, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, as well as no tax on seniors. All this stuff he was saying that he did it, right? He did it.
He's terrific. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, who is a fantastic legal talent. He really is. He's a great guy, too. And, of course, FBI Director Kash Patel. They have worked so hard on this and other things. Since the start of the administration, the FBI has arrested over 23,000 violent criminals, more than double the number arrested in the final year of the Biden disaster. The FBI has also destroyed or severely disrupted more than 170 organized criminal enterprises and gangs, 1,600 of the most violent gangs, and confiscated over 6,000 illegal firearms. And they've tracked down and arrested 4 fugitives on the most wanted list. 4 of the most wanted. Actually, 2 of them were the most wanted fugitives in the world. There's still much more work to be done, which is why the FBI continues to work alongside the Department of Justice, the Department of Homeland Security, and the Department of War to defend. And Pete Hegseth has been fantastic, by the way, on this too. On other things, but on this too. To defend law and order and combat violent crime, arrest illegal aliens, and make American cities the safest in the world. And when I campaigned, I talked about crime, but I never knew that we were going to get into it like we did. You know, I mean, I used to watch these cities with the murders. Chicago recently had one deal where they had 11 murders in one weekend, and they said, well, yeah, but it was a holiday weekend. They actually told me that was the reason, like it was okay because it was a holiday. It was Labor Day. These people are the worst. They really have to, they better, I tell you what, the people in Chicago and the people in places like that can be fixed. At some point, it gets to where you can't fix it anymore. It's too far gone. And we have some cities like that. But these are great cities that can be fixed. I'm going to be strongly recommending, at the request of government officials, which is always nice, that you start looking at San Francisco. I think we can make San Francisco there's one of our great cities 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and now it's a mess. And we have great support in San Francisco, so I'd like to recommend that for inclusion, maybe in your next group. You'll get great support. Every American deserves to live in a community where they're not afraid of being mugged, murdered, robbed, raped, assaulted, or shot. And that's exactly what our administration is working to deliver. I didn't realize I was going to make this such a big factor in the administration. I didn't really campaign. I campaigned on crime, but I never thought we'd go into every city and take a really safe city that we've all been living with for years and make them safe. And now it's like a passion for me, and it's a passion for the people behind me. So I didn't get elected. I did get elected for crime, but I didn't get elected for what we're doing. This is many, many steps above. And I want to thank Stephen Miller, who's right back in the...
All right, guys. So once again, this is yours truly. The president we all know and love is Donald J. Trump, giving us the update from the White House and stuff. This was done earlier today, I do believe, and things. And yeah, so therefore, once again, MAGA is in the winning seat, you know, and things. So a lot of you guys that are patriots, you know, and things. So John James, the Republican, I'm going to call him, he's on that rhino list because he's not a MAGA. There's a difference. Rhino means Republican in name only. And that's what we have. We have a lot of fake rhino, fake Republicans posing as Republicans, but they always been progressive Democrats. So this is what it is, though. So now that John James has been found out, I won't be voting for that guy. Showed his true colors, because if he really was about saving America, if he really was about being a patriot, then he would have listened to Trump, because John James is not going to win in over here, even with Trump's endorsement. You know why? We have here in Michigan, we have a large black popular vote for at least have a lot to say here in Detroit. By him, John James, he won't win, you know, like that. So that's the thing about it. So, and Trump already looked at the internal polls, as I mentioned before. So it's just not going to happen, right? And there's some other factors too. So therefore, yeah, you know, we are going to be looking for people, and this is across the United States, because we need people. When you look at those internal polls, those polls tell a whole lot. Who's going to win and who's going to lose. Trump already seen them. He already seen the internal polls for these people that are running for Senate and so forth. You know, we need real good MAGA senators and congressmen. That's what we need. You know, we don't need these fake rhinos, though. So we're already dealing with some of them already in the Senate as well as in the Congress. And that's why it's important when we go out to November and vote in the midterms and stuff like that. And then we'll be at the primary and get them on out of there on the Republican side anyway. We need MAGA senators as well as Congress people, whatever. Therefore, we can take the House, we can take the Senate, because we got the Dems on the run. They are panicked out, ladies and gentlemen. They're people that are in charge. They're leaders and stuff. They are leaderless. They do not have leaders. They do not have people that is pulling the strings. It's like every man for themselves. And that's what we're looking at. That's what we're seeing here, ladies and gentlemen. True enough. But, yeah, you know, I thank you guys for being a part of something great once again. And things like my mods. Hopefully y'all didn't have to work too hard, though, Dwight. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. And things. So, yeah. I see Dwight over here, you know. Dwight still rocking it out. You know what? I could put that up a little bit further. Let me put that up there. There we go. I should have done that before. I'm going to put that up even further. Yeah. Yeah, there it is right there. Yeah, Brother Dwight. Keeping it right with Brother Dwight. Oh, yeah, we got Joe Mama in the house. I was wondering when Joe Mama was going to show up. Not y'all Mama, but Joe Mama. Boy, there's Joe Mama right there. Yeah, let me give Joe Mama a special applause. There we go. We got Joe Mama in the house, guys. I didn't even know Joe Mama was in here, you know. Joe Mama, you know. Yeah, we had Angelica in here earlier, too. And then Brother Dwight and things, though, too. I think y'all met each other over when we did a live stream about a year or so ago, like last year, I do believe. Yeah, boy. Make 'em mad to be glad, I tell you, you know. Yeah, Angelica is still in the house here as well. Let me see here. Simon said Trump has broke no laws, which he hasn't. Trump didn't do anything wrong other than be a president fighting for the people in this country. You know what I'm saying? If he's guilty of anything, he's guilty of pushing back against the globalists and the deep state enemies of this country, you know? If he's guilty of anything, you know? If that's wrong, I don't want to be right. If that's so much wrong, I don't want to be right. Here this guy is a billionaire, you know? He could have given up like most of the billionaires have a long time ago. They said, as long as I got the money, I'm in the billionaire circle. I'm protected. I'm good. I'm cool, you know? But we know that this is not the case that happened, you know? Right? It was really the opposite. And they want to hate this man because this man is a billionaire, because his father cared enough about his family and stuff like that, and set up, you know, for us with the prime real estate and all the rest of that stuff. Yeah. So yeah, this is it though, ladies and gentlemen. So we are looking good to the midterms though. We are going to make sure we show up and show out for the vote. They're going to try to cause what is another summer of love, or I know they did it with COVID before, remember? So these are the sneaky tactics that they're trying to do. But like it is, we have too much of the leverage, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? Boy, I tell you, boy, but what it is that, you know, we are winning this fight. We are winning this war of taking this country back, you know. When I decided to jump on board and do this, you know, this was about saving the country, you know. And if you guys are about saving the country, you'll spread this information too. Share this information. Share this stream to your friends and stuff, you know. Because other than that, this is what has to happen. You know, we all live here in America, though. We don't want to see America overran by illegals. We don't want to see America with crime and violence and gangs and stuff like that. And that's what they were doing. Them young ladies would have been alive today had the failed administration coming from the left. They're the reason why those babies and so forth are not here with us no more. You know what I'm saying? So thanks to their failed left-leaning policies, and they send their minions in here. Their minions have no purpose at all. What's the one guy that they like to listen to? Oh yeah, Santana Jones, right? That dude, right? Some of the people in this room know who that guy is. You know, what a moron, what an idiot. You can go and tell him I said it. What are you gonna do about it? It ain't like he's gonna come in my life. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, yeah, you got guys like him, right? You know what I'm saying? Skyjack and these other leftist people. Dark money paid by opposition. Don't think I don't know this, you know? Because other than that, if they weren't getting paid, they wouldn't be on here promoting being a content creator. See, the thing about it is Trump is not paying me to do this. I haven't gotten one dime from the right. It ain't about the money, ladies and gentlemen. It's about saving this country. And that's what real patriots are about, right? Not like these phony ones coming from the left trying to act like, oh, yeah, you know, Trump is doing such a bad thing while they're getting paid for it. Many of you don't know, as I mentioned before, they get paid up to $8,000, dark money and everything, just like with, what's his name? The one guy I used to always talk about, David Pacman, right? And people like that, right? They get paid, man, straight like that. So I'm not getting paid. I just do this as a hobby. And not only as a hobby, but I also do it because this is about saving the country. Skip a hobby. I just happen to like it, right? But this is about saving the country, ladies and gentlemen. Saving the country, right? I really appreciate it, Brother Dwight, Angelica, Joe Mama, you know what I'm saying? But this is what this is about. This is why we got involved. This is why we're doing and things. So no matter what these libtards on the left, because I'm not butthurt about them, they are. They are the ones that are upset, right? They know that their party is losing. They know they don't have a chance, right? They know it, right? That's why they come in this room, right, and act you know what, a damn fool, right? That's what they do. They're just showing their intelligence, all zesty and all the rest of it. Zesty boys, you know? I can understand about the women in estrogen, but a man with estrogen, you know what I'm saying? Shoot, you can't respect that, right? No real red-blooded man gonna be no darn liberal, right? So yeah, so it's stuff like that, right? These old clowns on here and things like that, thinking that they so smart, right? Thinking that they're so so intelligent, right? But he got a bunch of liberal women backing him up. To my Santana Jones. I love trolling him too. Because it's so easy, right? You know what I'm saying? This is what real men are over here and real women, right? That's what this is about. So yeah, so they dark satanic worship and all the rest of this stuff. Let you know that we don't rock with that stuff over here on the right. The right is right, right? The left is some weirdos, queer weirdos and freaks. Look like misfits come out of a 3-ring circus or whatever like that. No, you know, I'm looking forward to the arrest though too. I appreciate the likes. Thank you so much. We're going to start seeing a whole lot of arrests once we take control of the House and Senate, which they're afraid of. They're really going to lose you know what, once we take control of the full House and Senate. And that's what has to happen, though. We're going to overrun this. We're going to take this country back like we already have, right? And we're going to run every illegal that doesn't belong here out of the country. And ain't a damn thing you can do about it. Let's talk about that fraud, too, in a lot of these Democratic states like Minnesota, right, which they've been trying to hide and trying to, you know, divert from that, trying to deflect from that. But they're not. You're right, Dwight, crybabies. You know, they're not going to deflect from this, man. They can't. The red wave is too big. Just like we said, we're going to make this election too big to rig, you know, and there's going to be another too big to rig. You hear that, liberal libtards? Oh, that's the baby crying. Oh, don't cry, babies. Don't cry on the left. That's what you've been crying every time. Oh, different, rainbow, bright, different color hair freaks. Boy, don't be all upset. Oh, we're gonna go over there and get them some McDonald's. Oh, soy boy mad. Oh, see, that's what you got on the left, right? Yeah. They're followers and losers and queers and freaks and weirdos, criminals. Boy, I tell you, man, look at this. Boy, the Democratic slave plantation full of crybabies. You got that right. Yep, you got that right. They a bunch of crybabies, man. They over here crying, whining, bitching, belly aching, boy, you know. That's what they are on the left, man. We'll never go back to the left. We ain't going back to the plantation at all, boy, and that's what they upset about. They have lost their footing, and they're going to lose this administration. They're going to lose this midterms. That's exactly what that is. Who she got down here? Yvonne says, what the hell is this? What the hell is this? Yvonne, you want to know what the hell is this? Should I tell you? Let me let you in on a little secret. Yvonne, you don't want to know what the hell is this? This is, do you smell this? This is liberty, right? This is freedom, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We are going back to where America used to be, right? The land of the free and the home of the brave, where it's the Constitution, a constitutional republic. That's what the hell this is, right? That's what this is. Trump have taken down, removed all of Obama's BS policies that he has set up against the Americans, right? All of it is gone. His legacy will be erased. It won't even be a memory once we get done with him, right? Mm-hmm. You know, you should know, Yvonne, you should know who the pimp is because you've been pimped by Obama for many years, right? That's who the real pimp is, pimping America, right? And the black community have been pimping us too. We ain't benefit not one iota with Obama, right? But a bunch of crime and violence and drugs, right? And all the rest of it that go right along with it. That's what that is. That's what that is, right? Mm-hmm. Right? The cult is you guys. Minority group are you guys. That's what make you guys a cult, you know? And you're going to deal with this, right? You're going to deal with it. And I love trolling you. Ain't none of you no match for me at all, though, you know? You ain't no match for me. You know, that's why I love it so easy trolling you, you know? And I got another public service announcement to the libtards.
Ooh, I'm afraid the deflector shield will be quite operational when your friends arrive.
It sure will, though. The deflector shields will be quite operational when your friends arrive. So when you want to come in here and want to smoke, yeah, we'll be ready for them. You know what I'm saying? That's a Star Wars pun for those that know. I mean, that don't know. Hey, Joe Mama, you like that one? I know your mama heard it before, you know. Oh, man, look at it, man. They over here spamming after you were told not to spam. Hey, for Wolfgang, Wolf Green, go ahead and strike him down, please, because he was already told not to spam. And look like he just defied that order. So go ahead and take him down. If not, then I get him. You know what I'm saying? But you guys can get him. Joe Mama, when you get Wolf Green on out of here. All he's doing is spam. You know, get him out of here. You know, get him out. I want him out of here. Get his behind out. OWT, get him out of here. Mm-hmm. Yep, I appreciate it. Thank you for the likes and stuff. You know, I'm just trying to get caught up over here. Get him out. Yeah. Miss here, Margaret says, you claimed, I don't have to claim nothing. Margaret, you ain't the boss of me, you liberal white bitch. You ain't the liberal, you ain't the boss of me. You know what I'm saying? You did look how you ran the Department of Education, government education. I got a lot of bones to pick with people like you, right? You can't tell me nothing how you done sold us out in the black community. Hey, boy, I tell you, boy, you can't tell me nothing. You can't tell me nothing. You really can't. You can't. Okay, Mom calling here. I'm almost done, Mama. All right. I'll get back with her in a minute. Hold on for a minute. Hold on. I'll get back. But yeah, you can't tell me nothing. You can't. You can't tell me nothing. All right. Hold on for a minute, guys. It's called at the wrong time.
Distaste for Boston recently. Is this one of those cities that you might be looking into? And can you give us a hint about other cities that you might be?
You're saying for where? For where?
For Boston.
Yeah. Well, Boston has a bad mayor who at least is a reasonable IQ person. You know, most of them are low IQ, but and they're so bad. I mean, what's going on in Chicago is just. You'd think the guy would say, "Hey, look. We have a problem, Mr. President. Could you come in and straighten it out? We could have that done in a month if we had their cooperation. It's going to be done anyway, but we could have it done in a month. Yeah, Boston, she's got 4 areas that are, wrong. And, somebody said, would we think about taking the World Cup away from Boston if they don't straighten it out? And the answer is yes. We have the right to do that with FIFA. So if we think that LA is going to be bad, or we think that applies a little bit to the Olympics too, but we'll talk about FIFA first. FIFA is very.
Boy, look at that, man. Trump is the man, bringing a lot of jobs back here to America, cleaning up our dirty streets that the low-down left have did us wrong for many years and stuff, with crime, violence, drugs, Trende, Alagra, MS-13, Bloods and Crips, you name it. This is who we blame. It's the Democratic policy, man. You know what I'm saying? Look at this, these public housing, welfare, right? Projects and stuff like that you can't even go up in. And they got a nerve to want to talk about this man and things like that. Boy, I bang on this on the left, boy, big time, man. I'm like a pit bull. I lock down and never let go. You know what I'm saying? Talking about lift every voice and sing. It's like lift every voice and swing on these liberal Democrats, right? Getting knocked out like that one MAGA guy did. He took out 5 of them, uppercut. The guy was asleep on his feet falling down, man. You know what I'm saying? Step up and get beat down, you know? And that's what we're doing, verbally beating down these Democrats, though. They are low down. I'm talking about the progressives, right? The ones that are in charge, not these mindless sheep. They just followers. They don't know what's going on because they watch, mainstream news. They love CNN, MSNBC, right? ABC. It's just nothing but trash, right? You know, trash. This is trash TV, man. That's what it is. They just lying, fake news and stuff like that. Boy, they, man, that name Caitlin, Caitlin Clark and all the rest of them, Dana Bash and all of them. And I can name a lot of them, man. They just ain't no good. See, they are enemies of America and stuff like that. But look at it, what it here. You got all these people have positive things to say regards to Trump and things. Hell yeah, he says, hell yeah, keep doing a great job, Trump. If he was doing so much of a bad job, then, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Look at what it is. Boy, I tell you, man. Yep. But you guys have really been rocking out. Thank you for the likes again. I appreciate it. I appreciate my mods here today as well. We are steady growing and steady rocking, though, We are steady growing and rocking, though, I do this because I'm a patriot. I care about America. I love America. Where else are we going to go? America is the greatest country on earth, right? A place where we have what we call the Constitution. People on the left don't understand what the Constitution is. They don't understand what freedom of speech is, due process for real, because we over here on the left with their old BS policies, you know what I'm saying? Yep, I defeat them. I'm just knock them down every time, though, you know? I'm over here having a great time, man, you know? Boy, Obama, one of the worst presidents we had in the U.S. history. He's going to be a memory, not even a memory once we get done with him, though, you know? Boy, I tell you, he is really the real reason, ladies and gentlemen. Obama, did y'all know that Obama is the one that's responsible for dividing America? Obama divided America, ladies and gentlemen. He was the one that put that same-sex marriages and all this other nonsense. He is the one that was purely responsible for it. And that's why Trump got rid of it. We don't have woke anymore. We don't have DEI anymore. Boy, thank God's good riddance, man. You know what I'm saying? So thanks to Trump, you know, a real man that stood up, got rid of that crap, didn't earn it. That's what DEI stands for. And you guys ain't gonna never come back on the left. So you might as well get used to it now. That photo that I put up was a photo generated by AI by Trump himself, and put that up there. I posted that up, not saying that he has gotten arrested yet, but it will be in the future. I'm just a person traveling in time, showing you what is inevitable for him going to prison. You know what I'm saying? So had I would have bet, I would have had $10,000. I would have been earning $10,000, right? Because that's exactly what it is. Obama was already rich. Obama's stepdaddy, Lolo Centoro, you know, go and look this stuff up. I'm not making this stuff up, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, one of the leaders of the Muslim Brotherhood and all the rest of this stuff. So we don't give a darn. We ain't yielding, and we ain't adhering to what the Dems have to say, because they are the minority in this country. They represent filth and what we call unkept, unclean indecency is what the left represents. Every filth, every foul bird is coming from the liberal left, boy. That's the thing about it. And they know they can't go into other countries pushing this type of rhetoric, because many of them wouldn't be on the live if they were doing that. Only in America. Only in America. You know what I'm saying? But so we are on our stuff today, ladies and gentlemen. They just go ape, you know what? Because the truth hurts. The truth hurts, though. And that's why they're upset, though, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? They are upset. They have no place in our beautiful America. So libtards on the left, that you're so butthurt and things because our system is steady growing, the tariffs are steady growing. You thought that the Supreme Court was going to stop Trump. Sorry just to inform you, but the tariffs are still on. The tariffs are still on. What you going to do about it, right? Oh, man, boy, I tell you, man. Yep, I'm liking what you guys are saying in the room, though, you know. Right? Look at this. Boy, I tell you. But, yeah, man. But it's been real good, though, you know. Yeah, I love it when they come in this room and insult and thumb down, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, how I just love teasing them on the left. And like I said, though, it still helped the algorithm. So I appreciate your participation over on the left. But you are truly the minority group. You will not win the midterms. You're going to lose everything, including your Obama, once he's in custody. You know what I'm saying? That's going to happen, though, you know. And when it does happen, you're more welcome to come in this room. You know what I'm saying? Yep, let's see. Hakeem took money from the convicted sex offender. Yep, Obama in custody. Only if. Oh, you got to be if, though, Fred. It's going to happen. Just got to have faith. When Trump posts something, that means Trump knows something, right? And so far, Trump been batting well over 1,000. Well over 1,000, man. Well over 1,000. And I'm going to trust his judgment. You know what I'm saying? Because he was the one that generated that photo. It was not I. I wish I had the credit to do that. No. That came from him himself, from Truth Social. You know, I just copied it and kept it. You know, it go in my library of scum like him, you know. Here we are. Trump is saving us from scum and villainy, right? That's what Trump is saving us from, right? Because other than that, he thought he was going to go willy-nilly over here in America, though. All his policies have been removed. I'm talking about the great Obama, the actual fallen messiah and the great arch deceiver, you know. Yeah, all his policies have been removed. That was been removed, though. Trump took care of that. You know what I'm saying? His legacy is no more. Woke is gone. So what legacy does Obama have left? Nothing. You know what I'm saying? Nothing. They can't stand it though too, boy. You know what I'm saying? At least I'm trolling with facts, right? They troll out of emotions. You know, I'm not being soy boy, zesty boy like them. You know what I'm saying? When we have the advantage, we in the winning circle, ladies and gentlemen. If you love America and things like that, put American flag down in the chat if you love the America like I do. You know what I'm saying? Put that American flag down there in the chat. Let me hear you. Let me hear you 2 times though. Let me hear you. Put that American flag up in there. Let's just show the trolls before I go, you know, that here in America, you know, we rock with freedom, justice, and equality, right? Freedom, justice, and the liberty is what I'm trying to say, right? And that's exactly what it is. Land of the free and home of the brave. Thank you for the likes. I appreciate it. That's what that is, though. Ain't no hate talking. We are all Americans here in beautiful America, I tell you. You know what I'm saying? Look at that. Boy, you ain't no match for the firepower, right, of the MAGA, right? MAGA is a movement that have overtaken the country. You were trying to divide it. You were trying to take it out. And guess what? We are still, like, what's the name said? I'm still standing better than I ever did. You know that. You know who that is, Elton John. Yeah, feeling like a true survivor. Feeling like a little kid. Oh, man. I tell you, man, that's a beautiful thing, though, you know. Look at them. They are so mad, ladies and gentlemen. That's why it's so easy to troll them. It's so easy to troll them. You know, I never had a person that controlled them so well like myself, you know. Boy, I tell you. Other content creators be losing their, you know what, going ape, you know what, not me. Because we are in the winning seat. I see the victory already. And they see the losing. They see it. They see the end straight ahead. It's a dead end for the liberal Democrats. You know, they don't have anybody, ladies and gentlemen. They got idiots, criminals, right? They got people that stand for indecency, right? They claim they care about everything, and they use these mindless drones to do their dirty work, right? Right? Because they got to put a battery in their back. They know they can't get out here and do it themselves. So who did they do? They just financed them, Antifa. I'm glad to see they behind going down in flames too. You know, F Antifa. You know what I'm saying? F Antifa. F Ilhan Umar, though. I can't wait to see her ass in jail, in prison too, for what she had did. How do you not know that fraud going on in your district? In her district and stuff like this. All of them going down, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to tell you the worst state out of all in the union is Washington State. Washington State is the worst. It's the worst. It breeds these type of, wherever these people come from, these nose ring, these different color hair coloring and stuff like this. You know those real liberal BITCHs, you know those ones, right? That's what they breed over there, man. No way in the world I want to go over there, Washington State, you know? They don't even like the Constitution, man. They're over there for every unfilth, unclean thing instead of the right thing. The rest of the country is all conservative, right? You know, you got some conservatives over there in Washington State too, right? But the most of them over there, look at them over there, man, looking like freaks and misfits and weirdos, man, you know? Boy, I tell you, toe up from the flow up. Make me want to throw up, boy. Ain't that something? Trying to say like they got a footing in their place. They don't. Your BLM is on fire. It's down. Your Summer of Love, your No Kings, all your stuff is failing. It's burning up. You don't have the people like you used to You had more people in 2020 than you did in 2024, 2025, and I've been to some of those rallies. I can count how many people that was there. I even did a live stream on one. You know, it was lucky if they even had 150 people. So the middle finger to you guys, because your party has failed. You are failures, right? You are misfits. You are freaks and weirdos. God don't like freaks and weirdos and stuff like that. He loves people that are righteous people, people that obey the law, not people that are against it. So there that is, though. You got to take it up with God, not with me. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for the likes and stuff. This is a Christian nation, and we got Pushback. We're going to get rid of all these criminal. There would be no Sharia law. It's going to be a Christian nation like it always is. If you are any other religion, you respect our laws and respect our ways, or you're going to get your behind deported up on out of here. I don't give a damn what it is. And if you're over here illegal, you're going to get your butt up on out of here, right? So ICE is already here in Detroit, like they are in many other places. ICE is already here. They're building a brand new ICE detention center by the airport. Big, beautiful building. Whether they're building it or they may already gotten the building already. Whichever, you know what I'm saying? Because we got to hold a lot of these criminal, illegal aliens, right? I call them on a proper name, right? They are criminal, illegal aliens in our country, right? They have taken what was good, what was clean, and there's no fault in them. It's really, real fault is coming from the left, right? The progressive so-called oligarchies, right? These are the real people, all right? And you all have been exposed. Your leaders on the left have been exposed. You will not win an election, and I'm just going to be gloating, boy. We are in the winning circle, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to keep my foot on the liberals' neck. Like I got my foot on their neck right now. Actually, I'm not letting up. They trying to squirm as they trying to, but I just defeat them. I defeat their arguments and stuff like that. You think your Santana Jones and them is going to save you? No, I got my foot on his neck, right? He going to come over here on my channel, though. He going to go by my rules. He ain't going to come over here. He's a coward. Those guys are cowards. They're not coming over here, ladies and gentlemen. They know what's going on. They're not coming over here. He don't want that smoke. None of them want it. Skyjack, they don't want that smoke. Oh, Johnny, who's Johnny? Them guys don't want the smoke, right? They don't want that smoke, right? They don't want it. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, he don't want that smoke, right? Boy, I tell you. Angelica says Democrats are the fascists. They always have been. They always have been. Now that they're exposed for their lies and against the republic of this country, they got a lot to pay for. I'm talking about their Democrat elites. They have a lot to pay for. And we're going to see the day where all of them are going to be arrested for that high treason in this nation and stuff like that, what they have been doing. So they're going to really be upset and out of control when they start seeing the great Obama in chains. I want to see those silver bracelets. As I said before, though, I'm looking forward to this silver bracelets. That's what we're talking about here, boy. Right? Boy, arrest him. What do you mean arrest him for? He was a treason to this nation, sir. Defunding the military, right? Funding the Muslim Brotherhood, right? We did a standing coup against our favorite president we all know and love, which is Donald J. Trump. All the evidence is coming out on Russia. May I need to go down the list and go more, right? He was the one that created the woke thing or whatever like that, he actually did a pretty good job of dividing the nation and stuff like that, you know? Look at that. Boy, I can go right down the list on many more stuff about Obama. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't hear about it in the fake news. You won't, because syndicate criminals protect who? Criminals. That's exactly what it is. That's what that is, right? And it's already been exposed. You know what I'm saying? Like, Tulsi Gabbard is up there just speaking for her health when she's been dropping evidence on Russia. Boy, they are done. You hear me? It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. The Nazis are the liberal demo KKK rats. Never forget that. Those are the true Nazis. They were Nazis in the black community. Only the stupid and the ill-informed in the black community that don't know who the real enemy is. But outside of that, we know what it is. MAGA in this country know who the true enemy is, and it's from the left. You can't even, and I see the flags up there too. I appreciate it, guys. You know what I'm saying? So we can't even get up in here, and they can't get up here and try to change the narrative. The Epstein backfired on them. Their people are resigning. They got people that are CEOs and stuff that are stepping down from this Epstein stuff. They thought that Trump, they fell into that trap with thanks to Elon Musk. Elon played y'all on the left. Y'all walked right into a trap. Elon did that on purpose, act like he was fake beefing with Trump. Y'all fell for it, and guess what? Trump was an informant the whole time. Your people, right, that was on that island, and yes, there was people, and Obamas and Clintons too. They were all on that island. Oh, man, boy. Don't you love it when a good plan works out? Boy, I tell you, they got a lot of explaining to do. Obama got so much problems on his head right now, and it's no wonder he ain't go completely white. I bet it's going to go, his hair going to look like Diddy here once it's done. He going to be Diddy number 2, boy, with all that white in his hair looking like Santa Claus Part 3 once it's done, though. Because you could tell that Obama, the stress is weighing on him now. Obama ain't in the great health like he used to. You can just tell by looking at him. Looking like a frail, skinny, old, grumpy man. About to do prison very soon. Military and all the rest of it. Tribunal court. You know what I'm saying? They're going to strip him of that presidency title as they should. An enemy to America, ladies and gentlemen. Boy, I tell you, fake everything. All they stuff on the left is fake. And I love it, though, too. Kicking the deep states, you know what? Kicking that keister, kicking these old sellout Democratic leaders, boy. That's why you're mad. You big mad. You ain't been talking nothing good. Just over here, just angry, soy all up. Oh, my goodness. Look at this, boy. I tell you, man. They can just throw out this stuff. And they can't back it up, ladies and gentlemen. I've been over here kicking their butt all day today. Me and Trump been kicking their behind, man. They don't stand on nothing truth, nothing real and wholesome. You know, look at this. You even locked up a woman praying out in front of abortion clinic. You could tell, boy, corruption is so deep from the left, right? From an abortion clinic, she had to go to prison for that. You guys are done. Do you realize this? You know, America saw that. Locked up an elderly woman. This is how insane they are, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm also exposing them in this room. They're insane weirdos. They are the weirdos. They are the pedos. They are the weirdos. They protect pedos. They love illegals in this country. Oh, it's okay for a pedo to be saved. They risk their neck out here going up against ICE or whatever like that, being unalive and everything, getting themselves murdered over some foolishness, over an immigrant that don't give a damn about them. Boy, you can't make this stuff up, boy. The fraud, boy, I tell you, though. Yeah, you right about that. Fraud, right? Look at what's happening. Fake children accounts. Yeah, Nick Shirley exposed that. Boy, I tell you, man. They out here doing a wonderful job. Real journalism, right? And that's why I say the fraud is so huge. California, Colorado. Look at we got Minnesota. We can name these states, right, where all this fraud at. Look at this. They've been lying to the American people, stealing the taxpayers' money, right, with USAID and these slush funds and stuff like that. Same thing with the Department of Education and the government. Boy, they failed us in the inner cities, boy, I tell you, man. Overcrowding schools, right? Underserved communities, disenfranchisement. The list goes on and on and on, coming from the low-down, libtard, progressive left. And by the time we get done, they're gonna be a memory of the past, man, because they really should be arrested too. They should be filed as treason, right? You stand for this? Treason. That's just that simple. It wouldn't be big and bad. And then another thing, now that they're going to be subpoenaed, they're going to be subpoenaing these tech companies. They're going after all the accounts, right? Got to be more careful, right? They going after these tech companies with these accounts. Boy, they're going to find out who's who. And you know what's going online is online forever. Boy, talking about judgment. See how God works, ladies and gentlemen? Boy, who said that there isn't a God, boy? Because these people are godless people. They're a bunch of worse than the atheists. They don't believe in nothing. I guess that is right, an atheist. They don't believe in nothing, ladies and gentlemen. They don't believe in nothing. This is why now judgment is coming up on them. Boy, I tell you, stupid Hillary. Yeah, stupid Hillary. You got that right, you know. Boy, stupid Hillary, boy. This is the thing here, boy. She in trouble. She looking so bad now, crooked Hillary. Oh my goodness. Boy, I tell you, man, talking about she want to have an open, she wanted to be out in the open now. These are the same people that never stood for transparency. Now she want transparency all of a sudden. Boy, I tell you, we got Howard Johnson in here. Howard Johnson's even said that Trump is full of, you know what, S-H-I-T. Obama is full of S-H-I-T and some. In fact, all the people on your left-leaning leaders are full of S-H-I-T. How you like that one? It just does show, lets me know Howard Johnson. And we know that ain't even your real name. You come in here as a coward. You know why? Because people like you that have to hide under a phony fake name and a phony fake avatar, you know, that's what that is, right? We over here winning. We in the winner's circle, right? So like it is, you know, appreciate you coming in on the chat, but you are the morons. Everybody on the left that's voting for this insanity type stuff. That's right. This dude is serious. I'm serious as a heart attack. I'm very, very serious. I'm not hiding from this stuff, and I don't apologize. I'm unapologetically. I'm unapologetic. I am 100%. See, the libs hate. See, with the libs though, they hate a conservative black man. You know what I'm saying? They really do. They can't stand conservative blacks because, you know, you can't control a conservative black man at all. And when he loves the Constitution, God, and country, that makes them dangerous to these people, right? That's what it is. So if I'm dangerous to you, I'm glad to be dangerous to you, right? That and some and more, right? Right? That's exactly what that is, though, right? Thank God for the 27 amendments, and some need to be ratified though too, especially the 16th Amendment. That ain't no good. That just protects the private banks and stuff. That's going to be taken down and things like that. We're already in the golden age, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to even get way better than this because the day that we don't have to pay taxes no more and stuff, we're going to be able to truly own our land and things like that. We're going to have safe borders. We have safe borders already. We ain't got to worry about criminals and all these weirdos in Congress and stuff that just use our taxpayers. All that been shut down. They've been shutting down the money flow in these other states and stuff like that. Boy, I tell you, millionaire, you mad. I know, right? They are mad though, Joe Mama. I love it when they get mad though because I feed off their energy. I'm like a boa constrictor. I just wrap my tentacles around their body and just squeeze extra tight and stuff like that. They panicked out though, man. I love it. I love it, boy. Don't you just hate the MAGA? Come on and hate it, you old TDS type of people, you know? Boy, look at this. You ain't impeaching shit, millionaire. Only thing you're going to impeach is your mouth out of here. You know, that's what's going to happen, man. I kind of like that. That's what's going to end up happening. You know what I'm saying? I want to slap the fire out your mouth. You know, like, slap. Oh, man, I tell you, man, it's too easy, man. It's just too easy. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank y'all all for coming in on something great. Boy, this has been a great live, though, boy. They are mad, big mad, though, man. My mind's been working overtime today, I'm sure. And stuff though. All I ask is no spamming, be courteous to people, you know, and so forth. But if you're going to get on here and act you know what, and a fool, you know, it ain't going to be welcome here. It ain't going to be a good look for you. It just isn't. And I appreciate the likes though too. You guys have really been rocking it out and things like that. Boy, I tell you though, yeah, talking about the American millionaire says, America tired of Republicans. A millionaire, you hear that? Boy, I just love me tease a millionaire a little bit. Millionaire, you know, you have lost, sir. Your party is in flames. You have no leadership. And soon, right, we're going to take control. Thank you for the likes. Soon, millionaire, we're going to take control of the House and Senate. You hear me? Mm-hmm. Right. We're gonna take control of it. So you think you have TDS right now? Shoot, millionaire may have to take. I don't know about a millionaire once we take control of the House and Senate and win the midterms, boy. I tell you. Look at we got Stuart Freeman. To my Uncle Ruckus. You know how many times Uncle Ruckus don't bother me. Can I get in character and do Uncle Ruckus? Look at that boy, that big old big lip baboon. Oh man, look at that. Boy, look at. Can I do the Uncle Ruck? I can. I do voiceovers too, Look at that boy, Stuart Freeman right there. He just loved being on the Democratic slave plantation. He loved crime and violence and drugs in his community. He loved to have to live under fear with gangs and drug dealers. He loved the bars on the windows and doors, death trap, Let you know that boy don't know nothing, though. He's okay with it. Proud of being a hood. See, for Stuart Freeman, you used to being a slave. See, that's one thing about it. See, with some of these black folks, they love being slaves. They're afraid of you guys, right? They won't do nothing about it. They won't do nothing about the community either. All they do is complain, right? When you point out all this evidence, right? Yeah, just point out all of the evidence, right? You's afraid, and you always been a slave, right? Nobody afraid of a slave. Go back on the slave plantation where you belong, boy. Get the running, get the stepping. Go back to your white massa, right? That's who you worship, Here, at least over here with Trump, he's saying, hey, you ain't got to be a slave no more to the Democratic slave plantation, right? Right? That's what that's about, So go back on the slave trade. Go back on that slave plantation, boy. Oh, man, I love trolling them, man. I'm actually a very, very good troll, man. I love trolling them. Look at this, boy. Yeah, boy. So there it is, though, ladies and gentlemen. We are going back to a full constitutional republic of the United States of America. No more of this U.S. stuff. USA, baby. USA, land of the free, home of the brave, right? I'm looking forward to 4th of July, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for the likes. I'm looking forward to that barbecue, 4th of July, fireworks, camping, all that stuff, right? We're going to be celebrating 250 years of America, right? The history of America, right? Boy, that's a beautiful thing. A country where you can come to if you come over here correctly, right? You can be somebody, right? Don't let these slaves and don't let these haters and treasonous people tell you otherwise, right? Everybody wants to come over here to America to get land and opportunity, right? Something that these people on the left don't seem to understand, Oh, my goodness, boy. Look at this, boy. Oh, man. Trump, boy, God, this is God's man right here is Donald J. Trump. Boy, heaven sent, ladies and gentlemen. God, did y'all know that Trump was heaven sent by the Almighty? He sure was. No mere mortal man can do what Trump did, right? Trump went against the opposition. He went against the global elites. There was one man that stood in their way, and he has triumphed. And that person is Donald J. Trump. No matter what these baboons and apes and so forth have to say, boy, I tell you, man, lower forms of intelligence, ladies and gentlemen, that's what they are. Knuckle draggers, right? They can't say two words properly without saying and duh, Exactly what it is, low intelligence, boy, I tell you. Look at this. It say, yeah, broke ass donkey. Yeah, that's them, all right. This is the party of the jackasses, right? These are jackasses in our country, right? Jackasses. Who had that flag there? Dana got that flag over there with the American flag, boy. Shout out for Dana. Look at her. Got that American flag up, boy. We're talking about patriots of the United States of America, boy. And that's exactly what it is, though, Look at that. The jackasses. This is the party on the left, the jackass party, right? Nothing good can come from it. Boy, if you spam one more time, BP, we're going to take care of you now. Make you famous. We're going to take care of you. We're going to get you right up on out this room. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get you right up on out this room. What did I say? You keep saying, yeah, broke ass. Yeah, broke ass. Yo, broke ass. Yo, broke ass, you know? I'm running a Hollywood production setup I got over here. All done by me. Yours truly. I'm better than some of your content creators that you follow. Don't you know that? My audio is superior, you know what I'm saying? Let alone my video quality, you know? So there that is, you know? I just love getting them. Boy, look at them. Look at this. Boy, I tell you. Where my crybaby sound at? Oh, don't worry. Oh, don't cry. Oh, look at this. The baby's ready for McDonald's. We're going to go and get y'all on some McDonald's over here on the left. Oh, don't cry, baby. Right. Yeah, Dana said, why do they always invade our chat? Because, you know what, Dana? They love this type of stuff, right? I'm the you know what they love to hate, like Tupac said, you know. I'm that guy they love to hate. You know, people like myself. Anybody that love Trump and love his policies, these are the people they try to go after. I've been dealing with these guys for some of them a long time, right? Some of them are just new, finding out about my channel. I'm not even a big heavyweight, but like I said, I'm not bothered by it. As you can see here, they got every obscenity, every nice thing, non-nice thing to say. You know, instead of just having a different of an opinion. They use emotions on an argument every time, you know, Ku Klux Klan, you know what I'm saying, with they jackass party that started the Ku Klux Klan, you know, Jim Crow, segregation, redlining, all these things come from them on the left, right? And the biggest lie that they told was a party switch, which is a lie coming from the left. There's no such thing as a party switch. This is all them. And I keep their feet to the flame on that, right? This is the jackass party, right? The Republican Party started in 1854. And this party was to stop the spread of slavery once again out to the West, right? Because we know who was for slavery. Was it 1828 for the Democrats? The jackass party, right? Right. Right. It's, what it Dana says, let me post this up here. Dana says, it's funny how they think Obama and Biden were such upstanding pillars of society, most saintly. Yeah, they think so. But they did was every low down, rotten, filthy, dirty, disgusting type of thing you can think of. Their fallen messiah and the great deceiver is Obama. You know what I'm saying? Obama is the one that divided America. It was him. It wasn't Trump. It was Obama. Trump is the one that united America. Because remember back in 2016, Dana, and many of you guys remember as well too, when Trump ran and won, right? And this is what happened. Trump had to expose things, and he's been doing a great job with it, right? When there was a 2020, they even took the election from Trump. And now that they have the evidence how the election was stolen from him by the Biden administration, they stole an election from a sitting president. They even made up the Russia. They made up all these trumped up charges over in New York, right? Coming from Fonnie Willis and the other one. What's her name? Letitia Big Mama James? Yeah. All that is phony. They ain't got nothing on Trump. I tell you, though, Trump is an innocent man, 34 count felon. I tell you, boy, they have nothing. They can't even tell you what it's about, right? It was all trumped up. Boy, I tell you, the Democrats are demons. Let me see what you have here. Let me see here. Stacey Johnson says the Democrats are demons that sacrifice their babies to Lucifer and call it abortion. Yeah, they sure do, though, Dana. And that's coming, that's coming from Stacey. Sorry about that. Right? This is exactly what it is. That's what Stacey said. Stacey, you know a whole lot to say that. That's exactly what it is, though. You know, these peons coming from the left that want to uphold this type of stuff. You guys are losing. You actually have already lost. You just don't know it yet. And then I'm gonna go back to look at those videos when Trump won in 2024 for the remember how crazy they were out? They were screaming, hollering, yelling. They're gonna be doing that much more. I'm gonna love it. I'm gonna do a special live stream on this one for sure. When we win those midterms, I'm gonna go ahead and post those videos. They're gonna be over there shaving their head, part 2. Freaks and weirdos. Oh my goodness, boy. I tell you though, man, this is so easy. It's just so easy though, you know. That's what Dana said, boy. I love seeing the American flag though, you know, because I live in America too, you know. Let's show them even more. But let's give it to them real good, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, look like we got Anton, man, you know. Boy, look at that. Anton got the American flag. We got Lone Wolf, you know, and Cub, you know. Lone Wolf and Cub in the house, though, too. Boy, look at these American flags. So, you know, you guys can't stop it on the left. It's too late. Can't you see in my room? Do you know who the majority is? Don't you know? Right? Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. And even Mama said, look at what Mama had to say. Go ahead, Mama. Let me read what she had to say. She said, Trump has changed since the coming to death in Butler, Pennsylvania. Yeah, I agree with you on that. He has given his life to Christ, and he is trying to fix what demons tried to destroy. He loves this country. Yeah, that is absolutely correct. I actually agree with you on that, though, Mama. I really do. When you come to a near-death experience, because according to what the deep state and the globalists, see, what really was supposed to happen, Trump was supposed to have been taken out, right? And we already know the globalist wins, right? Same thing happened, right? But look what God did. He just turned that head to the right. Boy, that's why everything Trump said, now and then I'm going to be right with God. Everything is on the right. I hear that, man. Even got my neck turning to the right. Turn to the right, boy. Turn to the right, you know. Gregory Howard got that a beautiful American flag, man. Look at that big, beautiful American flag. We got Elon Musk over here, you know. But, yeah, you got to be a big Elon fan, though. That's all good, though. Look at that, boy, that big, beautiful American flag, man. Big, beautiful country over here, ladies and gentlemen. This is a beautiful, beautiful country once again, though, right? Look at this. And it's going to even get better, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to get better as the day goes, man. We're getting more and more stronger than we ever have before. Boy, I tell you, though, with the tariffs and everything, look at this, boy. It said here, what's it? Mr. Bookie says, Democrats, cultists are the most hateful, divisive children. Yeah, they really are. I got to put that up there, too. Look at that. Boy, look at that, boy. Dana says Jesus is not black or white. He's more Middle Eastern. You know what? The color don't even matter, though, to be honest with you, though, Dana. I don't care what color Jesus is, you know. The point I want to make is as long as we got the message, you know, that's all that matters, though. See, the Democrats are the ones that make color matters, you know. They are the ones, right, that make color matter, right? They do this on purpose to divide the people. Now that the people have united themselves, blacks are seeing more and more. They're leaving the Democratic slave plantation. They're seeing the enemies of the black community just like the enemies of America. And these are the left-leaning globalist policies that they push down our throats and necks. Now that they're losing the narrative, you don't have the people no more. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to convince you about it. You can thumb down if you want. Don't matter. It helps the algorithm either way. I still win. Don't you know that? You know, I still win. Man, don't you know? I still win. Boy, I tell you, Yeah. And as Divine said, he's talking about the liberals. Yeah, I'm talking about the progressive liberals. There is a difference. Progressives. I covered this, explained all this type of stuff. The progressive liberals are the worstest thing that we ever had to encounter. Now that we have exposed them, and Don Lemon is going to prison too, so that you know. He won't be protected under the guise of the Journalists Act and all the rest of that stuff. When you violate those people's First Amendment rights with religion, he's going to prison. I'm looking forward to it. He's going to prison. He's going to prison, I'm going to tell you. Yeah, so that's the thing about it, though, ladies and gentlemen. Boy, I tell you. Yeah, that's the thing about it, boy. Even Malcolm X even warned us, though. Malcolm X warned about the white liberals. He said they were the most dangerous thing ever, basically. It's the white liberals. These are the ones we have to look out for, right? Right? That's what I say, right? That's exactly what it is. Let me go and play the rest of this video here. Hold on for one moment.
On the most wanted list, 4 of the most wanted. Actually, 2 of them were the most wanted fugitives in the world. There's still much more work to be done, which is why the FBI continues to work alongside the Department of Justice, the Department of Homeland Security, and the Department of War to defend. And Pete Hegseth has been fantastic, by the way, on this too, on other things, but on this too, to defend law and order and combat violent crime, arrest illegal aliens, and make American cities the safest in the world. And when I campaigned, I talked about crime, but I never knew that we were going to get into it like we did. You know, I mean, I used to watch these cities with the murders. Chicago recently had one deal where they had 11 murders in one weekend, and they said, well, yeah, but it was a holiday weekend. They actually told me that was the reason, like it was okay because it was a holiday. It was Labor Day. These people are the worst. They really have to, they better, I tell you what, the people in Chicago and the people in places like that can be fixed. At some point, it gets to where you can't fix it anymore. It's too far gone. And we have some cities like that. But these are great cities that can be fixed. I'm going to be strongly recommending, at the request of government officials, which is always nice, that you start looking at San Francisco. I think we can make San Francisco.
It's the libtards. I've still been reading the comments, though, too, while I let this video. Let me just pause it just for a minute. Yeah, there's a lot of demonic energy in the room, for sure. I'm in agreement of that, though. That's the thing about it. I am in agreement of it. Though. So that's exactly what it is, though. TDS libtards, man. That's what they are. But like I want to let you guys know, and I keep saying it, they have lost the narrative once again. They do not have the narrative. They do not have the control no more, right? And this is why they're so upset. Even they're upset with people like myself. There's other people channels that they have gone on, and some of these names I've seen before. Whether they're bots or real, that right there is the $1 million. That's the question to the $1 million answer right there.
Yes.
Yep.
And we have great support in San Francisco, so I'd like to recommend that for inclusion, maybe in your next group. You'll get great support. Every American deserves to live in a community where they're not afraid of being mugged, murdered, robbed, raped, assaulted, or shot. And that's exactly what our administration is working to deliver. I didn't realize I was going to make this such a big factor in the administration. I didn't really campaign. I campaigned on crime, but I never thought we'd go into every city and take a really safe city that we've all been living with for years and make them safe. And now it's like a passion for me, and it's a passion for the people behind me. So I didn't get elected. I did get elected for crime, but I didn't get elected for what we're doing. This is many, many steps above. And I want to thank Stephen Miller, who's right back in the audience right there. I'd love to have him. I love watching him on television. I'd love to have him come up and explain his true feelings, but maybe not his truest feelings. That might be going a little bit too far. But Stephen, thank you for doing an unbelievable job. And the people of this country love you, I tell you, and they love what you say about crime and stopping crime. So now I'd like to ask Director Patel to say a few words, and then Pam and Todd also. And I just want to congratulate them. This is an amazing thing, and we're just at the start. We're going to go into other cities that we're not talking about purposely. We're getting ready to go in. And when they go in, like Cash as an example told me that people didn't even know. 5 months ago, they went into Chicago, and they started doing a lot of work in Chicago, and we brought the numbers down a little bit. And but that really was just preparatory work for what we're going to do with the surge. We're going to have a surge of strong, good people, patriots, and they're going to go in, they straighten it all out. So a lot of these cities we're already working on, but we don't do it with a big flavor. But in a little while, you're going to see some numbers that you're not going to believe. And I think you'll probably start with Memphis, because I'm hearing the numbers are much quicker than we even thought possible. But again, D.C. it speaks for itself. Chicago is going to be okay. We're going to save Chicago. And I told you, and I told them, a very respected man, the head of the Union Pacific, said, "Sir, save Chicago. It can be saved. And the way he said it, it was like, can you believe it? We're trying to save Chicago. But I understood exactly what he wants, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to save all of our cities, and we're going to make them essentially crime-free, like other countries have crime-free. If you go all over the world, you go to the world, you hear Afghanistan and you hear all these different places. Our crime in certain cities is worse than anything they can even imagine, and we're not going to have that any longer.
Just like Trump said, we're not going to have this anymore. These days, we're in a whole different administration. And the people on the left, they tried against this ICE stuff, and it's been shut down. ICE, like one person said in the room, who was that said that ICE is all in all 50 states? He's absolutely correct. ICE is in there in all 50 states, you know? So, and it's more and more and more coming. See, they're the ones delusional. They act as if that Trump is as a lame duck president. He's not.
Period that we're talking about here. If you look at the past 4 years of the Biden administration, 16,000, 17,000, 15,000, 15,000. That number of arrests year over year of violent felons in this country for the Biden administration. Mr. President, in 7 months, you have 28,600 arrests of violent felons in just 7 months alone, because of your leadership and the dedication of the men and women at the FBI who want to go out there and do the job they were prevented from doing because that department used to be weaponized and politicized. And this is what happens when you take out the fangs of weaponization. This number is historic by every metric. 28,000 people have been arrested, violent felons alone. And then when you go over there and look at some of these charts, if you don't mind, I'll just hop over here. Look at the metrics for not just violent crime, but the homeland. Mr. President, during your administration, the FBI has found and located 5,400 children. That is a 30% increase year to date over the last administration. Violent crimes against children arrests alone are up 10%. Gang arrests are up 210% in the last 7 months alone. And transnational organized crime, which Stephen Miller has been a great partner in, is up over 12% alone. These numbers are historic just as a snapshot. But just so people don't think we're focusing on violent crime alone, the national security mission, Mr. President, under your leadership has never been stronger. We have gone after espionage activities against our main counterparts in China, Russia, and Iran. In China alone, we've had over a 50% increase in espionage arrests alone in prosecution. In Iran, we have had a 50% increase, again, in espionage cases. And in Russia, we've had a 33% increase in espionage cases alone. When it comes to counterterrorism, year to date, we have 125 arrests this year versus 100 last year, year to date alone. And when it comes to the cyber criminal activities, which are some of the largest enterprises plaguing everyday Americans, we at the FBI have put out a mission to go after cyber criminals like never before. Last year, they had in total 191. This year, you already have 252 arrests. 52 arrests of violent cyber criminals who are stealing from senior citizens, who are violating our children's rights and freedoms, and who are violating everyday Americans. These programs are record. And two of the things I'll finish with that I'm most proud of, Mr. President, this FBI. Fentanyl. As you know, it's a scourge that is killing our youth, 100,000 plus a year. To date, the FBI has seized 1,900 kilograms of fentanyl. That's enough lethal doses to kill 127 million Americans alone. To date. And if that weren't enough, Mr. President, you said we have to go after the worst of the worst. And you empowered our Department of Justice, our Attorney General, Deputy Attorney General, and the Deputy Director at the FBI, led the charge, not just on summer heat, but he also led the charge to the FBI's 10 most wanted fugitives. These people have been on the run for years. And in 7 months, you captured not one, not two, not three, but 4 of the FBI's most top 10 fugitives. 4. And just to put that in perspective, Mr. President, the Biden administration captured 4 in all of 4 years. You're on 7, and we're going to get to 10. We're going to get to 10 of 10. This includes a lady who murdered her 6-year-old handicapped child and fled to India. We got her in 2 months. This includes a narco trafficker. This includes a sex trafficker. This includes another first-degree murder and gangbang. These people were on the run because of the prior administration's reckless policies that destroyed our communities. And you came in and with a mandate said, go after the worst of the worst. This is just the beginning. This is what happens when you let good cops be good cops at the FBI. Mr. President, I just want to thank you for your incredible leadership, our brave partnership with prosecutors who know how to bring cases and make sure these arrests stick. And that's what the Attorney General and the Deputy Attorney General have led the charge across this country. Because arrests without prosecutions are meaningless. We are deterring criminals from doing this activity. We are preventing criminals from coming into America, and we are absolutely crushing violent crime and economic reform and defending this homeland, sir. And not to mention, I almost forgot this one. It took you, sir, 2 weeks to get the Abbey Gate bomber. Joe Biden had 4 years to look for him. You got him in 2 weeks, thanks to the interagency effort by the FBI and the CIA, went to Pakistan, and now 13 brave warriors who were sentenced to murder because of disastrous Afghanistan withdrawal. They have justice, their families have a peace of mind, and we're going to continue to find the others, Mr. President. On behalf of the FBI, sir, I just want to thank you.
Thank you very much, Pierce. Great job. Very good. Very impressive. Pam, would you like to say something, please?
President Trump, the men and women of law enforcement say two things to me repeatedly. First, you have taken the handcuffs off them and let them do their jobs, and you let cops be cops. That's why all this is happening. The director, the deputy director are working around the clock. All of these great men and women in the FBI, they have families at home, and they are working during a government shutdown right now. Many of them have small children. Many of them, I was talking to an agent this morning, many of them have babies at home, and they are working around the clock to not only keep our country, but our world safe. And that's what Operation Summer Heat did. Thank you, Director, and to the Deputy Director for everything you did on behalf of the Department of Justice, and you're going to continue to keep doing. And they set the stage for what we're doing in Memphis.
What I love
you're going
what
to
you
hear
said
a lot
there.
more about that.
Let me read what you said,
task
too. I posted it up. And you couldn't be more on the nail on the head. The entire left-wing establishment is collapsing. And we're seeing it right before our eyes, ladies and gentlemen. They are so done, right, of how the people in these illegal aliens that was brought into this country, even Lone Wolf and Cub even had to say, right, there is an illegal aliens brought into this country, right, and it's Democrats' fault that Laken Riley is dead, right, and many people like her. There's so many of them that have perished under their BS policies and stuff. Wasn't it Kamala claim that she was the border czar? Right? This is exactly what it is. You know, we are the majority of the people. The majority of the people are not liberals. They're conservative, you know, with Judeo-Christian values here in this country, you know. And then they back the Muslims, man. Now they brought them over here. Look at it. Look at what's been going on. Look at every not just the Muslims and all the rest of them now. These are the people they brought in here, gave them set-asides, gave them programs, welfare and everything else. Somalis too, a lot of them, Arabs, all of them, right? They just walked over, right, the people in this country. He said Santana would smash you. No, Santana got to come over here. I'm not going on Santana's channel. We're going to do it. He going to come on my channel. You go run and tell that, Brad. You know, he got to come on my channel. You know, that's the thing about it. He got to come over here. And I'm not going to let him get away with his questioning. We're going to deal with real facts and real things, because I know the game that Santana likes to pull. He ain't going to pull that over here. You're going to run by my rules on my channel, right? And I'm going to be in control of the questioning. And we're going to be talking about see, he want to say, well, why you want to vote for Trump? No, the question will be, why are you voting for the satanic libtards on the left? That's why you're backing illegal immigration and so forth, right? I got a whole list of questions for him to ask. You go run and tell it to him, because we ain't running. He's the one. I bet you won't show up. He got to come over here. I'm not going on his channel, right? He got to come over here. If Santana want to talk, you go run and tell it. He got to come over here. And that's for the rest of them. He's coming over here, right? So, because like I said, Santana, boy, are you crazy, man? Boy, I tell you, man, that ain't nobody afraid of Santana. Boy, you can't. Hey, Joe Mama, you hear this? Joe Mama know who this clown is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and that's right. That's right. That's right. I'm not even monetized, right? How about that? And I'm still knocking on the door, right? Because what I'm speaking is truth and facts, not like him. He's getting paid, and I know he's getting paid, though. He's actually dark money. He's getting paid. Because who will be supporting the liberals and not get paid? They're known for this. They love paying people, right? A lot of them are deep state, getting paid by dark money, straight up. Ain't nobody paying me over here to do this, right? Ain't nobody paying me. David Packman and them, they all getting paid. I'm not getting paid. What's that other chick? What's that other the one over there look like a gamer? Y'all know who I'm talking about. Yeah, they all getting paid, not me. I'm doing this because I am a patriot. I care about the country. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. So I'm gonna go ahead and shut this down, man. It's been nice. It's been fun trolling the libtarbs on the left and things like that. Boy, y'all are so easy and so easy a fan. I had a good time playing with you though. But the facts are still the facts. We in a winning circle, and we are winning, and we're gonna win the midterms. You go run and tell that and things. So there it is. So I do this because I'm a patriot and I love this country. You guys take care. Have a wonderful day and things. And I appreciate you all that made some great comments and stuff like that. It's a lot of intelligent people in this room and things like that, unlike some of these other clowns on the other side that just enjoy a bunch of yes men and things like that and nothing to say, man. I looked at that guy's comments, man. I'm over here just laughing. Boy, I tell you, boy. And Lone Wolf and Club says, ain't nobody more racist than the Democrats. That's for sure. The Demo KKK rats. Ain't nobody more racist than them. If you stand for that, that makes you a racist too. If you stand with Epstein, like many of them on the left do, and been on that island, that makes you a accomplice as well too. That's who you back. That's who you support, right? That's the thing about that. So yes, but I appreciate you guys, man. I'm gonna go and shut this down and things. I gotta go out here and make myself some money. I went way longer than I normally do these days. Joe Mama, for you showing up, brother Dwight. Angelica, you guys showing up. Y'all showed up and showed out. And a lot of other you guys that came in here as well, too, that supported Trump. You know what I'm saying? You already know. We're going to vote. It's going to be a big old tsunami, red tsunami wave. And we are going to annihilate in the midterms, right? We're going to make it super big where it's going to be nearly impossible to cheat. The voter rolls are being cleaned up. And things like that. So we have a lot of positivity coming our way, boy. And like I said, Lone Wolf and Cub, you guys have shown up as well. And many others, Dana and things. And a lot of you have shown up, though, So I'm used to the name calling, though. That doesn't bother me, right? And things. So other than that, though, yeah. And we're going to see with some of these phony content creators. They won't come over here, though. That's the thing about it, because they'll be too exposed. They don't want to be exposed, because how can you protect like one of the comment, the person that made the comment about Lake and Riley and many of them because of the hands of illegal immigrants. See, I'm going to control the questioning. I'm not going to allow him to do it. I'm going to be the one doing it. Right? This is what we're going to be talking about. I don't have to defend on why we voted for Trump. It's pretty obvious. 77 million plus that voted for Trump. And you still want me to explain why I voted for Trump? The question would be, he's got the burden of proof. He has to prove why he voted for Biden, right? He has to prove that. He's got to come up with the reasons, and Obama. They have to come up with the reasons of that, right? Not us. We the majority. He's a minority, right? So other than that, though, I appreciate you guys from coming on this thing, on this, live stream. And things, you guys showed up and showed out, all right. You made some very smart comments and stuff. You guys are aware, just like I'm aware, of what's going on. You got that dodo bird AOC. Oh, my goodness, boy. I tell you, she's done, though, too. She embarrassed herself on the national forum over there in Munich. She embarrassed herself. I watched it. I felt sorry for her. Normally I don't, but She had a loss for words. Man, that woman got her. Yeah, man. I tell you, boy. Oh, man. Yep. More and more blacks have left the Democratic slave plantation. Ain't that a beautiful thing? It's a beautiful thing, though, ladies and gentlemen. It's a beautiful thing. But other than that, I'm going to go ahead and shut this down, man. Oh, yeah, don't forget about Antonio. Oh, yeah, man, Antonio. Let me see. We got the heck for your crack. Just pull back. Okay, right there. How does someone like that for in public? All right, he can open. Okay, lone wolf. Okay, let me put that up. Every time I see American flag, I automatically go and post it. Thank you for the likes, dude. I appreciate it. Thank you for the likes. You guys have been really good. Matt Morrison, man. Matt Morris, I think it is. Yeah, Matt Morris. Yeah, you got a great channel too, man. There's so many guys that's in this field over here. Steven and a few others, man. They got, the Black Conservative. There's quite a few of them, man. Oh yeah, you got what's the name? Doc. Man, you got so many of them, man, on here, man. That's out here doing the thing, though. Devoy, you got a lot of these guys on here, man. I'm not just the only one, but a lot of them are on here doing the same thing, And some of those guys you guys follow, because they're over here doing the thing, though. It's many more. Yeah, Brian Maxwell, he got a good channel too. Yeah, these guys are you know what I'm saying? These guys are way bigger than me. You know what I mean? But I appreciate you guys showing me love tonight or today, you know what I'm saying? And I look forward to doing it tomorrow. Dana, you guys, you are all the superstars in my book. Keep up the fight. Stay encouraged. Stay positive. And we got the midterms to win. It's in our clutches of our hands. Can't y'all see the winning? Seeing us? I see it already. I see us winning majorly big. And you know who I see crying? You know who? Y'all want to know who that is? That's going to be the libtards, the progressive Democrats, especially their leaders, boy. They say when they lose this, they lose everything. We win everything. They lose everything, right? 20 years out. Get used to it, Dems. Get used to it. This is only the beginning. Only the beginning. Other than that, then therefore we won't have anybody that's doing these fake online content creators. You won't see people like Santana Jones and all the rest of them anymore. You ain't gonna see those guys, because when we control everything, and when they go after these subpoenas with these fake accounts and all the rest of them, you know what I'm saying, being subpoenaed, you ain't gonna see it. A lot of them gonna drop off. Trust me, I'm seeing that already. I already see it already, handwriting on the wall. They're done. They're done. You know what I'm saying? Because why pay for them when you're lost? Do you think they're going to go in here and keep doing it for free? No. Once the gravy train is over, they're not going to pay these guys no more. Guess what? You're going to see them disappear. And I'm calling it out right now. They're going to be gone. Guess who's going to still be here? Myself. You hear that, Santana? Yeah. Oh, boy. Oh, man. And he knows, because I've been in this room, so he knows. They just blocked me, That's cool. Ain't that something? Gonna be okay. It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right. Monica says, Obama was the best. Oh, my goodness. Boy, I go up one side, down the other side of your back with Obama and facts, boy. You can't even keep up with me. You wouldn't believe me anyway. The proof is in the pudding when you see him in those silver handcuffs, those silver bracelets I talk about. Let alone, though, Yeah. I put the picture up here earlier, though, Yeah. But, man, other than that, let me go and get on out of here, guys. You guys have been great. I see y'all on the next podcast show, man. Way over in things, but appreciate y'all. Peace and chicken grease. And I appreciate you guys with the likes, too. You guys rocked it out. Y'all really did, though, too, man. This is what I'm talking about, man. The highest ever in things. So you guys give yourselves a round of applause. Let me go and do the final applause as well. You guys really deserve it. The patriots of this country. They care about America. You know, you guys really deserve it, man. I'm going to try to knock it out of the park like this more, though, too. But this was a breaking news earlier, so I said, let me go ahead and talk about it. Yep, Dana, I appreciate you. And a lot of other people that became subscribers, too, man. I really appreciate it, guys. And like you guys are noticing when I do go live, though, sometimes you don't get the notification because, you know, I'm being shadow banned. But this is going to be temporary because the more of the stuff that these tech companies are doing to content creators, now that they're going to be subpoenaed and they're being watched and stuff, a lot of this stuff will go away. So it's just a matter of time, and that's including YouTube too. Yep. So like I said, we're winning, ladies and gentlemen. First time ever. You remember, you know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you guys for showing up and showing out. Once again, this is Some Random Guy Speaks. I am your host, Tony Love, and I got a lot of love. No Diddy, but I'll see you guys on the next podcast or the next, vlog or whatever you want to call it. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace and chicken grease. I am out.